The Fast Life Podcast is brought to you by Simpson Motorcycle Helmets. It's a new year. Get yourself a new lid to rack up more miles and memories in. Go check out all the helmet models, finishes, and visor options at SimpsonMotorcycleHelmets.com. And you can always give the team a follow at Simpson Motorcycle Helmets on Instagram. Check it out. Dream Rides is the spot if you're looking for a shop to build, maintain, repair, and upgrade your Harley-Davidson. Go see John Jessup. He is your dude. His shop in Stockton, California is a spot for in-house dyno tuning, parts, and bike sales. It's just about tax season, and if you're one of the fortunate enough folks out there to get a return, treat yourself to those parts you have been wanting. I know you can find just about everything you want and need at TeamDreamRides.com, which is offering 100 days, same as cash financing on products. All you need is a job and a bank account. And don't forget to give John and the team a follow at DreamRidesJohn on Instagram. You guys already know the FT4 Pro is the first in the industry to have a patented utility light with SOS function, Type-C USB charging, and up to 15 hours of battery life, and 1.2 miles of intercom range. You should have seen the amount of Lexans that were here at our party this weekend. Head over to LexanMotorcycle.com, see the many other products, and use Fast Life at checkout for 15% off. And you can always catch the team on Instagram at Lexan Moto. And don't forget to check them out at the Chicago IMS coming at you very soon. We made it to 2020, and one of the best upgrades you can do to your bike this new year is a ThunderMax computer upgrade. Its ability to auto-tune to your bike's upgrades and riding conditions without the need of a dyno make it, in my opinion, a superior product. Do you want to install your own cam or big bore kit but don't have access to a dyno or dyno tuner? Then ThunderMax is your go-to for reliable performance. To check out their ECM applications and many other products to give your Harley-Davidson some new life, head on over to shoptmax.com and follow ThunderMax EFI on Instagram. Paint Huffer Metal Flake is the flake of choice by many, if not all, the top painters in the world. Bold statement, I know. Check out painthuffer.com to see the vast amount of color options and many other products to help you in the custom paint process. Don't forget to use Fast Life 12 at checkout for 10% off. Follow Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram and stay up to date on the product releases and works of art produced by many of these top artists from around the world. Big Bear Performance is the go-to for high-quality performance products for your FXR, Dyna, Softail, and yes, performance baggers needs, along with being the industry leader in Olin suspension sales, service, and tuning. I'm slurring that a little bit. Check out BigBearPerformance.com, and you can always give Kevin a call and get the info and answers for your motorcycle's upgrades at 909-479-7788. What's up, everyone? We are back. It's 2020, and I brought on some fan favorites, Steve Chamberlain and Mark Matthews, T-Bar Jesus, Texas Performance, whatever you want to call the guy. I want to thank these guys for coming out. We had some special guests show up, and it ended up becoming a party on this podcast, which that's what's supposed to happen, right? Good times. I want to thank everybody for kicking off this new year together. 2020, got this new studio. We finished the shop. We had a fucking blast this weekend. Thank all of you guys that came out to this. Curtis Hoffman, Taylor Schultz, you guys came through, made a huge. Made me feel real great. Thank you guys. All you guys that rode in from all over Texas, all over the country, Craig from Florida, pounded all the way up here. You guys are awesome and very inspiring. And I'm proud to know all you motherfuckers. So thank you. Also this month, if you guys are interested in helping this podcast grow, I know we're still growing. Go check out our Patreon. It's on our website, fastlifegarage.com. $1 a month, $12 a year. It can help us grow and do so much stuff with this podcast, this platform. And to hopefully incentivize you guys to come aboard and start helping out with that, we have Lex and Moto dropping a gift box this month to someone on Patreon, and we might have some more items. I know I've been saying that forever, and I apologize for that. There's a lot of logistics, a lot of things that have to go into play to make things like this available. If you guys are interested, go check out our Patreon. Like I said, fastlifegarage.com. $1 is all it takes to support it. If you want, you can do more. We have a plethora of people doing some ridiculous numbers. They really have helped this podcast maintain itself and grow and go to new places. So, check it out. And also check out, everything that we got going on. Check out our sponsors, man. These guys, they do a big part of help keeping this thing roll too. And without them, I wouldn't be able to afford to take so much time off of work to create this content that you guys are checking out. So support them. They wouldn't be sponsors of mine if they didn't make a product or a service or something cool that I think that everybody could use in this industry. So check them out. And here we are. New year, new us too. Let's do it with Steve Chamberlain and Mark Matthews.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast.
New year, new us too.
New year, new us too.
Except for Mark did the same shit. Man, it's good to be back though. Seriously. Thanks for coming back again, Steve.
I appreciate you guys having us.
Yeah, that's fun. It was a blast. Having to kick it at the shop for a little bit,
Yeah, glad Mark let me borrow a bike and everything. Rip up from Austin. I've never been to Austin before, so.
Well, it would have been cool if you got some. When are you flying back out?
Monday.
So you got Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm sure. When are you going to pick up the kid?
Monday. She didn't start again until Tuesday.
Nice. It's a good ride, man. Lime Creek, 1431.
It's gorgeous down there.
We go up to like Inks Lake and shit too. Go through some of that up there.
Yeah, depending on what time we dip out Sunday. Maybe take some time and go hit up a couple fun roads that are close.
Take them to get some good barbecue.
That barbecue joint that we went to last year, man, that was crazy. It was like the middle of nowhere.
What was that thing called? Loco Coyote.
Yeah.
Oh, that was like a burger joint, wasn't it?
It's not a legit barbecue spot. It's just like they just do large portions of shit.
Yeah, I remember I looked at the burger and I was like, man, that's a big burger. And you guys looked at me, you're like, that's the small one. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. It's kind of cool just doing this, man. Like, having you two guys on here, especially like after, if anybody listens to the one we did last year, and then just seeing all the shit you did, how we linked back up again 2 more times.
Yeah.
Was it?
Your camp out in Sturgis. And then, just seeing how it's about to go again this year. Yep. Where are you going to go this year, Mark?
I don't know. Man, I keep saying I'm going to try and make all these events, but the ones that I really want to focus on is Maggie Valley. Mm-hmm. I want to do that one for sure. And then I'm trying to decide if I'm going to try and do Sturgis and the West Coast Jam or one or the other. But I'd like to make all 3, honestly. Yeah.
That's tough, man. That's why like doing events in the when people are trying to create new events, doing them in that May is kind of dead, but like June till August is fucking stacked with shit to do.
Yeah.
And if you want to travel, but you also want to hit the big events, especially like Sturgis being the 80th and shit.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like stuck going the opposite direction in the country for, because I was planning on doing the East Coast, which in June, just that way I can catch Laconia.
Yep.
But I also want to do it so that I can see everything and not be like, weather fucked. You know what I mean? And I don't want to have to pack so heavy cold gear that I don't have room for cameras and all the other shit I'm trying to take. So
yeah, I can probably almost guarantee you might get rained on in Laconia. So
the rain doesn't bother me.
They say it just happens once a year, every year. We had it was on Thursday last year.
Nice.
So then we just took off and hopped in a truck and went to the bar and whatnot. But Laconia is a good time. It's beautiful roads up there. I mean, the people up there are awesome.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. So, nothing else on the docket other than
those are the big ones. Obviously, we're going to try and do the Texas Time Traveler show, which is kind of taking over Giddy Up. Since as far as anyone I talk to, Giddy Up's not happening anymore. It's Texas Time Travelers. And then I haven't heard anything about Texas Hills, so I got no clue about what's going on there. Maybe I might try and I want to start doing like little events at the shop, just like meet up, let's go ride the hill country kind of thing. So,
dude, I still want to do Big Bend. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. I want to go do that because it's
almost like it's weird because it's close. So it's like I could do it easily, but I keep throwing it. I could do that anytime, but I never do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Where's Big Bend?
Like Southwest.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like one of the spots that's supposed to have like the least light pollution in America. So like when you're out there camping, you can see like the whole sky and stars and all that stuff. So
that's awesome.
That would be a fun one too.
I wonder if you can see Krypton. What did y'all think about the bikes at the IMS, like the new Pan America and shit like that?
I mean, I like it. It's different. It's not a typical Harley. It's not going to appeal to the general demographic of who a Harley, quote unquote, Harley owner is at the current, stereotype. But it's cool. I mean, the big thing is going to be the price point. Yeah, yeah. If that thing comes in at 30 or 40 grand.
Yeah, it don't look like a 30 or 40 grand bike. If you go look at that compared to the BMWs, and there's no. I mean, the BMW, before you throw all the extra adventure shit on it, you're looking at an $18,000 bike. Yeah, you know what I mean.
And then I don't think 18 would probably be too much on it. I mean,
18 is probably going to be where they're at. I mean, I think it's too much too, but unless they're just making, they've cut the cost so down on that production of that style motor in that direction they're going, it has to be in that $20,000 price range.
I mean, it probably is. In my opinion, it's still a little much for a first try adventure bike from a company that is known to not always hit things out of the park the first time it comes out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when the Twin Cam first came out, they had issues. When the Milwaukee 8 first came out, they had issues. And so it's like, I want to get one probably, but instead of like the Milwaukee 8, I bought it not long after it came out. I'll probably wait until at least the second or third generation of.
I've had no problems with my bike. 2019, I have no issues with my Milwaukee 8.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had any. I had one small issue, and then other than that, it's been fine. I'm amazed. Everybody else is having. It still has stock cam plate and stock oil pump because my run out was not very good. But other than that, it's been running great, honestly.
Yeah, I've ragged on mine extremely hard this year, and it's held up pretty good.
The only problem you had was at the Pennsylvania camp out. You had a problem with this compensator?
No, that was the front sprocket. So you ever seen that like meme where it's like, the clutch slips and then it shows somebody's rear sprocket where it's just rounded out? Yeah, that was my front sprocket.
On the primary or on the tranny?
On the transmission. Oh, okay. I converted to chain drive. That's right. And it was the front sprocket.
Dude, a steel sprocket or did you go to aluminum?
No, it was.
That's what I've never seen a front one wear out.
Yeah,
like that.
Well, it didn't help that. After it messed up, I was 500 miles away from home, and I was like, it ain't going to make it home. And then I just got some curvy roads with a bunch of buddies, and I just sent it down the road. Like, if I went over a third of a throttle, like, it was skipping, just everything. So we ended up pulling in a gas station. We tore it down. And I was thinking it was clutch because it just progressively was getting worse. And then I checked my tire, and then I probably could have, like, checked the tension on the chain, and that would have gave it away. But we ended up pulling the clutches out, and we're just scraping the steels on the concrete just to be like, maybe we can just get a little bit more. And then I pulled out of the gas station, and it was just garbage. Done. Like, I was like, no. And then we sent somebody
That would
back.
be a hard side of the road fix. You would need the T70 for the front sprocket, a big-ass breaker bar.
Well, if you're just pulling the clutch plates out, you don't
to replace that sprocket, you need that fucking deep-ass 6-speed transmission socket, an impact. I mean, I don't know. That'd be a hard fix on the road unless you were close to a bike shop.
Yeah, you'd have to find at least a car shop that had.
Yeah, and then find a front sprocket.
Right.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, because it's not like.
What'd you run? Were you running the Baker one or what?
No, it was the whole like Vulcan kit. I don't think it was a problem with the sprocket. I had about 19,000 miles on it, and there was a couple times where it lacked the maintenance and like the chain lubrication that it needs. So, like when I got out to Sturgis, my chain was extremely loose. Yeah. So then we readjusted it out there, and I don't think that did it any help. So, I don't know. Being a 300-pound dude and trying to be on an 800-pound motorcycle and clutch drop wheeling probably didn't help, the chain. So, I think it was more lack of maintenance than lack of a bad product by any means. So.
So overall, do you think this year was pretty progressively good for you and stuff like that as far as?
This year was epic for sure, you know, just between all the trips, the people I've met, you know, starting it off with, you know, coming down here to Dallas. Then we did Laconia, and when I went out to Sturgis, we did I had my own camp out up in Michigan, and then, you know, did a camp out in Pennsylvania, met ton of people, you know, across Instagram, like actually met them in person. Yeah. You know, like you can talk to people all day, but you know, when you finally meet them in person, you know, it's awesome. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that'd be cool. What do you think about for this year for the camp out up there?
I don't have any flyers put up, but I'm thinking about the same time of the year. Like I think it's like July 17 to 19 is what I'm going to plan up in Interlochen, Michigan for the up north camp out.
Once again, bad timing.
Yeah, you can't.
I think it sucks because you have like such a small window up there too.
Yeah. Well, we have decent weather, you know, for the most part, but it's like, when do you plan it? Do you plan it in May? Do you plan in that? Because then it's going to overlap somebody.
Well, that one dude, I forgot his name, but the other guy that came from Michigan that came separately to the last camp out, he got snowed on the way back. I guess y'all all did. Like, it got dumped on like right after y'all got home.
Yeah, we crossed over in the Michigan border, and then it was cold, like misty rain, and everything. And so that last like 150 miles sucked. I got back to my place, and I'm like, all right. My trip home from Laconia, that sucked too. You know, we spent more than half that trip. You know, we did it straight from Laconia back to Michigan, and more than half the trip in the rain.
Damn.
Know?
So that was my goal was to go from here to Atlanta, and then go up north through the Smokies, and then cut over to like Baltimore, New York. I wanted to spend a couple days in New York just so I can kind of soak it up, you know.
I went out to New York. I took a car this year, but went out to New York City for the first time to the Indian Larry block party. Yeah, New York it's a different world. Yeah, it's a different world. Like, they don't have yards out there. It's just like literally just house, and as far as you could see, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. I guess growing up in such like immersed in such culture from music and everything, and TV and movies and stuff, it's like I've just never been there. So I would be mesmerized just with the way of life that they have.
Yeah, it's completely different. It's awesome. You know, like. Would I want to live there personally? I don't think so, but New York is definitely.
There's something about like all these different places people live though, and how they find the same shit that we all find. Like they find their bar, they find their pub, or they find their restaurants and their people and their you know, daily routines, and it's kind of cool to me to see that, especially like when you're riding across country and you're just kind of sitting at a gas station killing a monster while you're trying to catch your breath, and then you're just seeing people carry on about their lives and shit, you know.
Right.
So especially out in the middle of nowhere, you know, that's the crazy one. Like you're at a gas station with nothing within 100 miles except for the gas station, it seems like, and you're like, how do you live out here? Like where do you work? What do you do? You know,
that must be where all the Amazon drones go to drop shit because they ain't picking them up out there. Yeah, it's like when we came back from Phoenix that time. We went through the middle of fucking New Mexico and shit. We were stopping in those little towns, you know. There'd be one street going through and like a couple houses off of it, but that one gas station was like the Walmart of the area. It fed everybody everything they need. You go in, they got fucking deer feed and shit like that and all kinds of stuff.
I was going to say, when me and you we met up in Omaha, about to Sturgis, we had some towns like that. Yeah. It was like there wasn't anything for a while, and then it was just like little town. It's the four corners right there, and the gas station's on the corner, and then continue on, and it's another 50 miles, 100 miles till
the next one. When I go to Sturgis this year, man, like usually... This year, of course, we did it differently, but usually I would go through Colorado. Yeah. But when I was up in Oklahoma, in Woodward, which is kind of like not quite as far west as Sturgis would be, but it's kind of far west. You know what I'm saying? And once I started getting over there, the terrain got pretty nice and rolling hills kind of thing, and nobody wants to ride through Kansas. Nobody wants to ride through certain parts of Nebraska, but I found on my way home from Sturgis, like being in some fucking cornfield area, and I was just like, fuck, feels great. This feels badass, you know. So there's like I just want to experience it all. So I want to try to go through this other route up there that I've never even wanted to take because it's probably not as glamorous as the Colorado one would be and stuff like that. And definitely not as fast as going straight up 35, but just trying something different, just to say, yeah, I've ridden through that town before, because that means a lot to me. It's kind of like, yeah, man, where's that? Yeah, oh yeah, I rode through that town once in the middle of nowhere. Like,
yeah, because it's like even with like big trips, you know, you can go to the big glorious ones, but I feel like most of us have more memories from, you know, just the smaller, you know, the ones that you get more feels on. You know, you're around the right people and everything, so. You know, it's not just like you can go to Sturgis and, you know, Sturgis is epic. It's like the Mecca. It's like going to the California coast, you know. So
what do you think is the best way to describe Sturgis as far as like for all the people out there that say that they're not into that crowd? Because that's what I would always hear is that I don't like rallies, that I don't like this crowd, but
it's all you
hear
make
from
it.
me.
It's all you make it. Like Sturgis this year was awesome. Like we were with like a killer crowd, you know, and then the V-Twin Visionary show, like they're bringing a lot of the performance Harley like stuff back. I didn't go make it to every show, you know. We did out and we did some ripping, you know, made a bunch of friends. Got a couple tickets. You guys did.
Yeah, you escaped away from that one.
Yeah.
And you didn't drop your bike. But no, but you know, that's what I think. I agree. I think that show is what you make it. I mean, you could do the fucking Main Street beer, you know, whale-tail fucking or whalebone, goddamn, you know, margarita walk around and shit like that, or you can find your group and just fucking have a good time. Yeah,
you can be 100 miles away, and you know the bars are there for the Sturgis people. They're like, hey, welcome to Sturgis, and all that. So you're 100 miles away from actually Sturgis, couple hours, but it's like the crowd is still there for the people that want it to be there. You know, if you want to go to Sturgis and just do the downtown stuff, like it's almost worth just have a car, walk the thing, you know. But if you want to do motorcycle stuff, like go make the best of it.
Yeah, that's why I like to get in there the day before. I love getting there like a day or two before, ripping those roads, and then spending that weekend, like that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, doing the shows and all that kind of like business shit.
Meet and greet, you know, and talking to people, you know.
Because when we ripped Spearfish, it was not that you couldn't do that the rest of the trip.
No,
and
because I was there all week and everything, and it's just always busy. You know, you're making friends or you're going slow. So.
But I don't know, man, like the cop thing out there was just fucking over the top this year. It was ridiculous. I remember I went from like downtown back to Lead where we stayed. From downtown to like, you know, partially down whatever road goes back to Lead, like within 4 miles, I seen 11 people pulled over. Yeah. Like, and then however many were sitting there hiding in the bushes. It's like, geez, you know. See, I really don't get that. I don't get why they're cracking down so much on it. You know,
they're not on board. The police is completely separate from the event, and the police are looking at it the exact same way the bars up there look at it. This is a way to make a lot of our money in a very short period of time.
But I also heard that they bring in other officers from other areas, so it's not like all the fucking.
Because that way they can. It's just like those bars don't have all those bartenders from that area. They fly in
cops and bitches. That's
I mean, they're just trying to make as much money as they can in a short period of time. It just sucks that it's at the expense of people's fun.
Yeah, it does potentially. I am bummed that because when we pulled in, we went straight to the ThunderMax dudes and started hanging out with them, and I didn't get to do any Iron Mountain or Needles or any of that shit on that side.
Oh, we did Needles. Man, I was so fucking busy. Just sitting there, I was getting just pissed because like just bikes hot outside, sitting in traffic. You know, like somebody like dumped their bike over, so then traffic's sitting there stopping and everything. So, well,
that's why like this year when we do it, I think I'm going to leave here Tuesday, the week before, or the week of the weekend before, and then get there about Wednesday, and then spend all day like coming in Wednesday, ride Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday do the shows, and Monday, either Monday after one of the shows, we're going to start heading further west. I want to try to. My goal this year is to do the Keys and knock that corner off. Maine, knock that corner off. I don't think I'm not going to be able to make it to Washington, but then that only leaves Washington and like San Diego left to ride to. So
that'd be sweet. Hit 4 corners in a
I'm going to drive to San Diego in a week and a half, but that's not the same. But yeah, I'm looking forward to do it because you were talking about Beartooth Pass. You're talking about all that stuff up there. I want to check it out. I want to say I've ridden through that shit too.
I want to.
Plus, I watched that show Yellowstone, and I'm like stoked on that shit now. That was a good ass show. It's got me hooked on cowboy life. You can trade my bike in for a horse, you faggots. Are you gonna try to do Sturgis though?
I mean, that's my goal. Like,
what's your biggest holdup? Is it just work?
Yeah, it's just
But also Sturgis is right around the time the kids go back to school.
Yeah, it's finding time that someone can watch the kid, and then just you make promises to people to try and get their bikes done in a certain time frame, and sometimes things work out great and sometimes they don't. Yeah, you know what I mean.
So right now, realistically, is about 3 years since you started the shop, basically, because you got in the shop you're in now right around this time, and you were fixing it up, and you officially opened probably a February or March or some shit.
Yeah, I think we did like a March or April is when we officially opened, but we got into it around this time. And
so, how do you feel about it? I mean,
we got to do something to expand. I just it's so much stuff for one person to do, and a lot of the jobs we get in now are big projects, which are not profitable. Yeah, it has a big ticket at the end. It looks big, but as far as profit margins, they're not. It's not like services and
you're waiting a long
tires,
time for
and
the
you're
money.
waiting on parts, and unfortunately, I'm somewhat OCD about how things look and how they fit, and so I'll do something 2 or 3 times to make it perfect, but I don't charge for the extra 2 or 3 times. I only charge for the one time I did it, and so I just need what I'm going to try and do this year is bring on some sort of lower level tech, younger, older, but entry level tech that can do basic stuff, and I can help him learn the tires, oil changes, stuff like that, but that can also help me with dropping parts off at the powder coater, picking up parts at the dealership, sweeping, organizing shit, because I'm so backed up with work to take. Anytime I'm in the shop, I'm trying to get bikes out and done, and so my shop has become messy, and it's really, really frustrating me. Yeah. And it's I want to get it fixed, but then it's okay, let's say I spend 10 hours over the weekend trying to organize it. Well, that's $850 potentially that I just lost out on. Yeah. And so.
Yeah, it's a bad cycle. I mean, you gotta, but that's every business, right?
Oh, no, for sure. Yeah.
You gotta figure out the best way to maximize yourself and your talents.
Exactly.
And whatnot. And I mean, you've been killing it. I mean, fuck, dude, Jetty's bike came out sick as hell.
Yeah, that bike, that's a fun fucking bike.
That did turn out sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I need to hire at least one person to start doing the stuff that doesn't require my personal attention.
There's got to be someone out there.
I'm sure there will be.
The one thing that I would look for somebody that was going to come in and start is someone who, is kind of like the guy that's there on time early, eager to be there, and the guy that's not watching the clock.
Yeah.
He's fuck, man, hey, you want to do anything else tonight? I can stay longer. That kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Between that and then a guy that you click with.
Yeah, you were saying, because it's going to be someone, I'm going to be potentially spending more time with this person than I spend with my daughter.
Saxon, he's been helping me build all this shop up here, and I've been kind of showing him some stuff. His work ethic is the kind that I wish that I was in a position to hire him, because I really like his attention to detail more than he just tries to get things done. Yeah. You know what I mean? He'll take forever to sand a helmet, but that motherfucker is perfectly sanded.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's so I can't get this spot. I'm like, don't fucking worry about it. It's fine.
It's good.
You're good, dude.
The paint will adhere.
Yeah. So it's I wish I was in a position to do it, but I've literally restructured my entire business over the last couple of years to be completely self-sufficient and not have to, cover someone's fucking paycheck every month, or every week. And I don't know. It gets lonely up here in all this nice shop.
That's the other thing too, is when you work by yourself all day, every day, and the only interaction you have with people is people calling you for the most part and asking prices or
that's why when me and you finally do talk each other, it's a 2-hour conversation.
Yeah. Every single time I'll be like, okay, well, I've been sitting in front of my daughter's daycare for like an hour now, so I gotta go pick her up. You know?
Exactly. But I don't know, man. So, like, what do you think about? Have you figured anything out with the shop? Are you gonna stay in that location, or what's?
For the time being, right now, I'm not gonna move. I don't want to move until I can get set up with other people. You know, what I mean? Get another guy in there. I think it'll be tight with one other guy in there as far as space wise goes, but I don't want to jump into a bigger building that's more expensive, that has more responsibilities as far as cleaning and organizing and all that sort of stuff, and then not have someone that I can depend on to help me with it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, someone comes in and they start paying their way, basically them coming in working, you know, and that's one of the weird things about a lot of people don't understand about being an employee is that their job is to make the business money. Yeah. It's not just to get their check.
Exactly.
So if they're coming in and creating a financial gain for the business, then you're making money off them doing it and they're making a paycheck, and then it's easier to move forward and build on that. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
You know, and that's the thing is it has to make, you know, I can't just pay someone to do it just because I want to. Like, they need to be able to at least turn some sort of a profit. You know, I'm not expecting them to work, you know, bill 40 hours a week every week, you know, but
but if they make you more efficient, it's worth it.
Exactly. If they can make me can make me money by making me more efficient or by handling the small stuff. So when someone calls and goes, "Hey, I need tires and brakes on my bike," and I'm like, "Cool. You know, how's mid-February look?" You know, it's you know,
that's one of the hard things I even have to, you know, with people and even selling helmets and paint jobs. It's like you don't want to sound like a dick when you're saying it, but the other dick thing would be to, you know, get them their hopes up and say, well, here's the deal. Like, I know we just spent 2 hours talking about this project, but I can't touch it for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's one thing I've, you know, just over time, like knowing when to like turn things down and or put them in a position where, look, I cannot with a straight face tell you that I can work on this anytime sooner than this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it sucks when it might be even something you could do quick, you know what I mean, on some
exactly
case.
But then it's not fair to the people whose bikes have been there forever waiting. And so that's where having another guy to be able to handle the quick little things so that I can still focus on all the big projects, but someone calls, like, wants tires or simple oil changes or whatever, they can handle that and knock it out real quick, so that way we can service more customers and make more people happy.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. But what's Screaming
Speed and Fab?
I still vote for Screaming Seaman Speed and Fab. Or just SS.
It's SS and F. Screaming Speed and Fab. But I don't know, it's just something I'm kind of starting up. So I made these side covers for the 09 and up tour baggers. I made like my own personal set, and then we sold, like, I had somebody else reach out and they're like, I want a set. That Sunburnt Gringo, I think you painted him a helmet. I gave him a set. That My Garage Ventura, he wanted a set for that, what is bike, Sexy Bitch or something, Big Sexy. And then my buddy Sketchy Glide, he has a set on his bike. And every time I see, like, you know, any of those bikes posted, somebody says something about who made those side covers. So I'm doing a little adventure on, you know, the side covers. So
yeah. What about anything else? I mean, is it just the side cover thing, or are you looking into other parts?
Right now, I'm starting the side covers. I'm hoping to have them ready by the end of January, early February. And then I'm thinking about buying like a 3D printer. And then I want to kind of start prototyping some parts. I don't know. Like, I have some ideas for, you know, bagger parts that I want to try out. And, you know, maybe if I can make them on a 3D printer, like, I've never messed with that, but I got that. And, you know,
dude, those tools, like those, like Milch Racing or whatever, like they do the run out tool with a 3D printed thing that they put on there.
Yeah,
not a bad idea.
Right.
There's a lot of shit that's really cool that they can do now,
Yeah.
for sure.
I was
You
telling
think
him,
that's Eric out there?
I think so. I told him we were headed here, and he was like, "Okay, I'll come up there." I thought everybody was coming here, and they were all going to hang out or something. I didn't realize
Yeah,
everybody was.
I don't have enough. I didn't have enough money to insulate these walls. So
can you hear it that good over?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
You could hear him pull up.
I can hear the cabinet shop next door. I was not trying to sound racist, but their Mexican music, is that the right? Or their Tejano?
What would the term be? Cultural music.
Well, if he wants to come up and get on this with us, I can just move this stuff over there. And
I'll go get him. You guys keep talking. I'll go grab him.
So yeah, it's just as far as the side covers, I'm trying to do that. I'm kind of planning on making something for '08 and down. If it works out, we'll keep going with it. I'm just trying to be like legit with it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Better make one for 08 and down, because I need a set for my road glide.
yeah, I need to do it without bag cutouts because you ain't got bags on that.
Wait, you gonna do stretch bag ones?
No. But yeah, just giving that a shot. You know, if something works out, it works out. If it don't, you know, I still got a day job. So
So I didn't know that you weren't working.
oh yeah, like I had a good fuck it moment in about May this year, and then I ended up quitting my job, and I took the whole summer off, and I think I finally got a job like mid-October.
Yeah, like
I was gonna get a job like when we got back from Sturgis, but then I just wasn't. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Just needed to get out of where I was and continue on and try something different and try to enjoy life a little bit. So,
well, you definitely did this year for sure.
yeah.
What do you think about like this year? Like, what are you thinking about doing as far as events and shit?
For sure, I want to come to your camp out. Sounds like a bunch of people want to do that. I got a good group of guys that I'm in like a big group chat all the time. We're all talking about doing my camp out. And then I think we're talking about doing one in like North Carolina. Like nothing on that. Sturgis is still a big maybe for me.
Yeah.
You know, like Sturgis was a maybe last year.
What's up, crackhead?
And then,
That's your chair.
Laconia's a for sure. So,
Yeah.
and then I don't know past that. I try not to plan too far ahead in life.
How's everybody doing today?
Good. What'd you bring in here? Some burrs?
Burrs.
You got to put the mic like within a fist of your mouth.
Got to be all professional.
That way that people can hear you.
Right there.
Yeah. And talk. Yeah. I guess Eric Rock Stunts. Is that how you still go by still?
Yeah. Birth given name, Eric Rocks.
I thought it was
Stunts.
when I first met him, he's like, "Hey man, I'm Eric." I was like, "What's your last name?" He goes, "Rocks." I was like, "No, what's your real last name?" I thought it was like,
Not your stage name.
yeah,
dude.
Right? I feel like an ass. I got to explain that every time.
Oh, that sucks.
Birth given name.
That's what I'm doing right now with this bike downstairs. You'll see what I'm talking about, and you'll ask the question later.
This place looks awesome.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. This place is killer, dude.
It's weird because I can't really say this without somebody going, "Oh, that fucking dude's using his friends or whatever." But I had a blast hanging out with the dudes that I did this with.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
You know,
All
it
those
was
guys
no
are good
different.
guys,
Yeah,
too.
it was
that's
no
the thing.
different than like if we were sitting in a garage every Friday night drinking beer, just, you know.
Because you're not all professional builders.
No,
you're all
none of it,
learning
yeah.
shit. You're like, hey, how do I do this? I don't know. Let's call my buddy Chuck and see what he says about it.
You know, the other thing I realized about it, it's like, if you, like, for those people in the world that don't really know what they want to do or they don't know what they're into or whatever, and then you go do shit like this with your friends, like, hey, you know, we're going to build some shit. And you're like, all right, I've never done it before, but give me that hammer, right?
Right.
And next thing you're like, fuck, dude, that was satisfying to take that and turn it into this. And I think that's the way a lot of people can find things in their life that might click well with.
Yeah.
It might be working on your buddy's bike in a garage, you know what I'm saying?
You know,
But-
pushed out a little bit out of your comfort zone with something.
Yeah, but it's like, what's the alternative? The other alternative is you're going to go home, you're going to watch Sports Center.
Yeah.
You know, your wife's going to bitch at you or probably some shit. It's like, come up here, hang out with your boys and do something creative.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely. I mean, that was when we were going to school, that was like the best part
Yeah.
school was hanging out and working on bikes, after school and shit. But then when it becomes your profession, it's almost like you got to find another little thing to do.
Yeah.
It's not the exact same thing you do to make money.
It'd be different. Like I wouldn't be like, hey, Mark, come to the shop. Let's I don't know, let's throw some cams in the bike real quick. You know what I mean? Even though I know that we've done that, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's different, whenever I don't know.
It's different when you're real good friends with someone too.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like if you needed something, it would, I would want to help you.
Yeah, you
but when
want to
it's
be a
just
part
like
of
a
it, yeah.
general friend, like someone you hang out with, but you're maybe not like the fuck.
Or when you know they're
closest.
kind of gonna take advantage of you,
Yeah.
and not really appreciate it, or they're just looking at it from an angle of like trying to capitalize.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I see you doing it the same thing up there in Michigan. You with all your boys up there, y'all
Yeah, my buddy,
hanging out in the shop and shit. And,
Yeah, my buddy Charlie Rock, he's kind
oh,
of.
there's another rock.
Yeah. His is actually, I think it's just rock, not rocks.
Right, singular, I'm plural. More than one.
So yeah, he's like ex Harley tech, and then he's kind of got like a side business doing motorcycle repair and everything. And then he went through and like redid a shop, and I was an electrician. So then he had me go up there and wire up the shop. And then,
Well, how'd you feel about doing that? I mean, since being an electrician, you didn't feel like you were being used or anything, did you?
No. Because my bike's in the shop now, and now I'm using it back. So.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
mutually beneficial relationships.
I guess it all depends too on like how much time it is that you're giving. Like if I was like saying, hey man, let me spend a whole week, like a whole 40 hours of work on you for nothing. That's different, right? But hey man, I'm gonna come over to the shop. We're gonna hang out for a couple hours, shoot the shit, build some walls and stuff. That's way different, in my opinion.
And like with that, it's like don't count your cards.
Yeah.
Like if it's a friend, it's a friend. You do a little bit here, you do a little bit there. Like who knows? It might be 2 years down the road, or then they're like, hey, I need some help, and you're like, yep, I'm gonna be there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're gonna sit there and be like, well, I worked there for 7 hours, so now they owe me 7 hours worth of their time. You do that, you're gonna lose friends over stupid
That's
stuff.
exactly what happens in
treat it like an
relationships
account
too.
or something,
when you start.
Yeah.
I like the barter system. Trade you, get some sex and drugs.
Yeah, but yeah, that's I don't know. I really enjoyed it though, man. Like it was almost when we swept up the last bit of sawdust. I was kind of like, fuck, man. Like I'm gonna miss this. You know what I mean? And then like Craig, fucking driving. He's passing through driving trucks. And he's like, hey, what y'all doing tonight? We're tearing down the paint booth. Cool, I got a DeWalt bag full of tools. I'll be over there in a little bit. This motherfucker parked his truck and then jumped into Uber and then comes over and hangs out all fucking night. And I'm
That's
like,
dope.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Like
he came up to my camp out. Like
Yeah.
he didn't have a bike. He was in a semi, and he's just like, he gets like dispatched out. He's like, shoot me towards Detroit. Like I have something to do this weekend, and then I'll go back to work on like Tuesday after it.
Yeah.
He fucking dropped his trailer somewhere, I don't know, but then he drove his semi right into where our camp out was. So it was so fucking hot out. He's like, dude, the AC's ripping in there. I was like, I'm so jealous right now.
hell yeah.
Is he got a sleeper camper on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
like,
he's got like a bed and all that shit.
yeah.
All I heard was
awesome.
semi.
And I had it like another time. He's like, I'm in Canada. Like, you want to get a beer tonight? He's like, I'll shoot towards Grand Rapids. Like, I go to Chicago tomorrow or something like that. I was like, all right, shit, come on by. Me and him got all wasted that night.
But that's what's cool about it, right?
Yeah, because met him at your camp out. So then.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I met him. He's came through here twice now. The first time he just came through, we went to Buffalo, and then we went back to my house and we got fucked up. We didn't do anything, you know what I mean? We just drank. But, we just talked forever, man. It's like good to get to know people that way, especially when it's,
Yeah, he's a solid dude.
especially when you travel a lot for like him and shit.
Yeah.
And then having like these friends fucking everywhere and shit,
Because he's like, dude that works alone, being a semi driver, but friends all over the country,
Yeah, that's cool.
It's gotta be fun. That's for
You got
sure.
friends all over the country? Stunt man?
I just can't stop thinking about tomorrow night. Because last time you saw my other half,
She's
it
coming?
was a little chaotic. Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I said, you're going to be at his spot now. You can do whatever you want. Last time you copped out, you fueled the fire and then you fucking disappeared. I was like, this is fucking bullshit. I knew it was going down, too.
Dude, my buddy Matt, same thing with his chick, right? I get in these I start getting drunk, and I get in these conversations where I'm too drunk to know what the
Let's
fuck's
get another drink. Are you thirsty? I got a bar right here.
Yeah, and then I just start going down this fucking rabbit hole of what the fuck am I even talking about, shit. And it's like I know that about myself, so I'm trying to avoid those type of things now.
Well, I don't want to.
And it's the camp out like we did, or the fucking Texas Hills whenever that happened. You know, that I was like, man, that's not the way I wanted to spend the one night, I think one night I was there.
Well, here, man, cheers. Here's to making new memories. I love your spot, by the way.
Thank you.
Appreciate you having me again. Cheers, sir.
Yeah, it was a good time though, for me at least. I threw up that night.
It's one of those things, like, at the time, it maybe wasn't the perfect way, but it's definitely a fucking night I'll never forget.
The problem is like, in my head, though, I'm so fucked up that I think I'm actually helping him.
I don't think so.
That's how I felt, though. I felt like, no,
like,
dude,
I totally got
You're
this.
not that
I'm
guy.
doing him a solid.
Now, Mark.
so he's a piece of shit. It's not that bad. I'm a piece of shit.
My knight in shining armor over there. That was good.
That was an interesting evening, that's for sure.
Oh, that was a good time, huh?
So what did I walk into? What have you guys been talking about?
Oh, we were just last year at the beginning of the year, when Steve came out, we all did a podcast, kind of like the beginning of the year thing. So we were just kind of jumping on that, just more or less talking about the shit. Like, honestly, we don't really need a topic because we just talk naturally all the time.
So where are things from then until now?
Yeah, we'll just talk because Mark did nothing this year,
right?
And then
Except work.
I had to drag him out to come out here. So
yeah.
Good for you for that. Cheers.
Yeah. I think that's what you said that he said, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. And when Steve came in, Eric's like, I'm glad he's here because he'll actually make you come, so you can't fucking stay
Can't
and
blow it
just
off.
work, because seems like that's all I've done for every event is like, okay, I can go to the event and go ride my bike, or I can stay at the shop and try and get more work done to get, seems like I'm always just behind on schedule.
Dude, I'm so behind right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was like Jace's camp out, you didn't know.
he
It
was
was like a big
Dude, I wasn't even sure I was going to come. And then finally I was just like, you know what, if I don't jump on the bike and go right now, I'll never go. And I just literally jumped on the bike, didn't call or text anybody, and just left.
Yeah, then I was wasted when you showed up. I didn't notice you. And finally you're like, Steve. I'm like, whoa, Mark.
Was that the one I met you when drove up from Houston? I don't think.
No, it was Oklahoma.
His camp out he does in Oklahoma.
Yeah, this is the one that we do at K River campgrounds or whatever out there, Adam Sandoval's campgrounds. No, the one you met from Houston, I think that was Texas Hills.
It's funny how similar the stories are. You show up, everybody's already racked.
It's pretty much, yeah. That's the way it's supposed to go.
Shit.
I'm texting Justin right now. He just got into Dallas. But go ahead.
Texas Hills, is that where you looped your Dyna?
That was years
I didn't
ago.
loop the Dyna. No, that was the first Texas Hills, and
And
my
margaritas.
dumbass- Yeah, we got there at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning because we had to set up and got the booth set up and the bikes, and then instantly just started pounding margaritas, probably about 4 an hour. And then like 1 o'clock hit and I'm completely hammered. Like had no business
That's
even
the old
talking.
Mark. The fun Mark.
Completely hammered. And so I was like, you know what a great idea is right now? Let's go bang some wheelies on the bike in front of the bar. It's
perfect
idea.
Anytime, because the whole like Harley stunt thing here in Texas wasn't that big yet. We had that Texas Infamy and shit. Mm-hmm. And I know you guys were doing stuff, but that was like before y'all came to the Hill show, right? So anytime somebody was doing wheelies in Austin, Mark knew about it and he was showing up pretty much. Because I'd always be catching like Instagram videos of like somebody out there, oh, there's Mark with a pink FXR going down.
But yeah, I mean, I just was like, oh, I'm going to bang a couple wheelies out in front of the bar. This will be fun. And then everything was going smooth because I was in my comfort zone. Like I'll do my couple power wheelies, like not amazing. I'm not a professional.
Yep.
Everything was great. And then Richard and his buddies, all the Texas Infamy guys, showed up from San Antonio, and they start doing rolling burnouts and circle donuts and all sorts of shit. And I was like, oh, I got this. I've been riding for years. And just, wow, boom. Brand new Dyna Lowrider S just down the road on its side.
Did y'all see that video that's been going on Instagram where that dude tried to do a rolling burnout and he lost it, but then it rolled into some car and shit, like in a parking. It was like a cross or a intersection or whatever like that.
Yeah.
That wasn't a Harley then.
It was.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, okay.
It was funny. It ended up being a blessing in disguise, kind of, because I went down, everybody stopped. So, I jump up, push the bike in, I got a little bit of road rash or whatever, but it's not a big deal. Not even a minute after we pushed the bikes in, like 12 sheriff officers show up because we were being dicks. Like, we were blocking the whole road. We weren't letting people by or anything.
Yeah.
And they show up and they're like, "Who is out here doing wheelies?" And my buddy Zombie Mike's like, "Mark, you got to go fucking hide right now because you got road rash on you. They know someone wrecked. You got to go hide." So I went and hid in the bathroom so the cops couldn't find me and ask questions and
patting down your wounds with toilet
yeah,
paper.
exactly. I had the whole story because the biggest piece of road rash was on my hand. It tore up the palm and my fingers and stuff because I'm a dumbass and put my hand down. I had this whole story. If a cop asked me, I was like, "Oh man, this is from feverishly masturbating, man. Just from my hand raw, no lube, But it is what it is. And it, like I said, ended up being a good thing. Oh,
Justin.
snap.
Heavy D in the house.
How are you, man? Good. You want a beer?
Of course.
Yeah, I don't have enough mics for all this. Me and you are running a podcast tomorrow. Is that cool?
That's fine.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'll tell you all about it later. What were y'all talking about? Marking the cops.
Mark wrecked
Yeah.
him. One of the many times that Mark is wrecked riding motorcycles.
So, Jace, what's your plans so
This
far
year?
for this year? I know you dabbled on a little bit, but
Try to utilize this shit as much as possible. This whole thing we built. The funny thing is, like, most of the podcasts we do are still on the road.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So finding a way to kind of capitalize on building the studio, whether it's doing video stuff and trying to get other people to come in and things like that, is the main thing. But traveling, continuing to do that, because when I go out of town, it benefits the business so many different ways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that Sturgis trip that me and you did, that night going to that house and getting those steaks and shit was able to make me go to Covington's and do those bikes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like just planting all those seeds and doing all those things.
You were only there, 3 days in Sturgis, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
it worked out well for us, So, just the trips, man. Like I wanted to go hard on that FXR, but I really just need to dial it in a little bit and sell it. And
you don't want to do what I do and buy a bike to sell it and then just slowly every month sink another couple $1,000s into it until you're like 12 grand into it, like, oh, I'm going to sell it,
And then you ride it.
Yeah. Then you ride it, you fall in love with it again. You're like, I'm not going to sell it. But then you're sitting there looking at it like, I should probably sell it because I bought it to sell it.
You should only sell it if you have something else to do with the money.
Oh, I definitely do.
This is probably not the best financial advice. I'm definitely not the guy for that. But to me, I want a nicer car, like a nicer car or truck.
Yeah.
So to me, I look at that FXR like, I could probably get it to where I can sell it for this much and then throw this much on top and I can have me a nice ride for another couple of years. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really want a fucking car payment.
Don't buy any rebuilt Acuras.
Yeah. Definitely not doing it.
that was a big topic last year.
Even though I do want to buy another Acura, I want one. I want to conquer this fucking demon in my life now, just to say that I owned one and shit. But
you know what you need is that new Corvette. Just buy that thing for 55 grand.
Yeah, okay, okay. Can't wait for the government to knock on my door about that shit.
How do you afford this,
dude? I don't know how the fuck I afforded this.
Yeah.
Seriously,
no, this place looks good.
It looks good from face value, but if you start looking in the cracks everywhere,
it's whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't walk up here when we showed up here earlier. I didn't walk up here,
Yeah.
so I was just figured, if we did a podcast, I'd get full view from the first time walking in. You did a damn good job,
Yeah, the idea came together pretty well,
Yeah.
But we utilized what was already here with the downstairs paint booth and stuff, and I haven't quite painted much in there, so I don't know how much I fucked myself by taking out the main doors for it and making it smaller. But I think that with us kind of moving forward on like smaller things like helmets and shit like that, it'll be a much better deal. But now there's so much fucking space down there. I don't know what to do with it. Like
so much room for activities.
I think I'm just gonna have a permanent cornhole game set up just so I can practice.
Have you ran your fans of your paint booth while you're up here?
Yeah, but like I said, I didn't do like these walls are all open on the sides.
Yeah,
we just like drywalled both sides of these, and like I said, I didn't do any.
I just didn't know if like noise came through your whole podcast equipment. If you did paint something and then somebody stopped by for a
if I did paint, I just turned the booth off. You know.
Gotcha.
But fortunately, like I said, I'm here by myself, so if like somebody comes in, then I can easily turn everything off.
Yep.
And once we get soundproofing in here, then it'll kind of help keep the sound in here. And I don't know how it works with outside sounds, but if something's super loud, they'll hear it. You know. But
you want to test it out?
Also, this whole table setup is kind of weird. So, like, I would rather be sitting there, you know, doing podcasts. That way it's a little bit more personal because, like, right here, you got these fucking mic stands in everybody's face and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But until there's a time where someone can sit here and run this shit and then the mics can all be over there, you know, that it has to kind of be this way. That's why I was sitting over there before Eric showed up.
And you need a what is it, like what's the guy's name?
Young Jamie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or for the Big Brown, they got one too, or whatever, their podcast.
Oh yeah, they got producers basically. So I need like a guy that can wet sand parts.
Right.
That can you know, just all this type of shit. It's so hard to find someone that's interested in all this shit.
Wet
you know
sand parts, edit videos, you know, run the podcast equipment, clean the shop,
be available at all times of the day.
Know how to sweep correctly
for $500 a week.
So if anybody's interested, you got all those skills with proof.
Yeah,
don't they call that an internship?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. That's a lost cause. Internships, you know, like there's so many. Like the Saxon that's been working with me, helping me out. I think I was just talking about him. Like he's learning a lot, and if he can spend more time and learn more things, then I can teach him enough to where he can literally make a real living doing this shit. You know, he might not be able to do it at my shop, but he can do it. You know what I mean? Like teach him how to buff cars and stuff. And next thing you know, you can go make fucking $800-900 a week buffing cars. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's a good fucking paycheck for, you know, anybody in their 20s. So I don't know what kids make these days.
I don't know. It seems like everything's getting more and more expensive. Right. You know?
Of course, I think it's also relative to the part of town you live in, but dude, I was 27 still taking home like $600 a week.
Right.
It's
you know
all
what I mean? Relevant what part of the country you're from.
Yeah.
You know, $600 a week can be, you know, buku bucks in some place, but then it ain't anything somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, especially like just going to like New York and hearing what, you know, I got a buddy from Staten Island, just hearing what he pays for rent for his tiny little house or apartment or whatever it is. So
yeah. Well, just everything, man. Like like when you think about, you know, like just how much money it costs to do anything, even for me to have an employee, like a real legit employee, it's so fucking much money. Like, you know,
the legit part is the key, because if you do it legit, then you're paying taxes, you're paying Social
matching
Security.
The taxes. Yeah.
I mean, it's what you pay them. It ends up costing you almost an extra. I think it's like 17 or 20% on top of whatever you're paying them. That it's just, and then you got to have some sort of I don't know how the insurance thing works. Hiring a legit employee, like how do you offer insurance? Or
I don't know. That shit doesn't make sense. Like there's like no way to help a small business out in any kind of way like that way. You know,
there's so many loopholes with everything nowadays. I don't know anything about like
but there's loopholes. But then if you get caught taking one of those loopholes, then you're 10 times worse off than you would have been if you would have just.
It's just like now, just the rules with business and everything. Like it's
dude, so much stuff that I never thought of.
This guy will never have an employee. He won't even let me push the bikes in to help him out. He's like,
hey, I let Steve push a bike in. Dude, I'm not. It was my bike.
Doesn't count.
It was my bike, but I still let Steve push a bike in.
He let me push his road glide in. And he goes, "Yeah, put the kickstand down right there. I'll push it between the lifts." I was like, all right.
He's all nervous. The front brake still works if it's not on. You can just be real careful.
Pushing into the plunger.
That's what I was talking with him earlier. I was like, yeah, you have an employee, and I'm like, you're going to have to kind of let go a little bit. You're going to have to trust somebody, with it.
Well, it's hard, like I can imagine, because I know that in many senses I'm a control freak as well as when it comes to like the operations here.
Yeah.
And that's why like little things drive me fucking nuts, right? And that's how me and my brother got to the point where like we couldn't work together anymore because I felt like he would do shit just to piss me off. You know what I mean? And I think that's the same way. It's like you are so used to things being done this way, and if you hire an employee that you're going to teach, you want them to do it the way you fucking want them to do it.
Yeah.
Just like if you go work at Walmart, they're going to tell you how to bag groceries the way they fucking want you to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
So that somebody changes up your routine of how you do it, that stuff either if you're verbally, upset about it to them, or just mentally you're sitting there like, why didn't they take out the trash? The trash is full, and that's even that type of stuff to me. Like I think I'm like, why don't they know to do that? So
it's got to be someone that's willing, that's going to be moldable.
I can never work for any of you guys, but I'm a habitual line stepper.
Habitual line crosser.
That's how I got the tattoo on my head to stay looking busy and shit.
You're the dude that shits on clock too, huh?
What are you doing? Why are you watching me? It's good.
No, I don't know, like that's one of the weirdest things about like thinking about trying to, that's why it discouraged me to want to grow this business to anything bigger than just myself. Yeah. Like I would love to have somebody here that was passionate about all the different aspects of our company or whatever, but it's so rare. Like you'll find someone that's into wrenching or into painting, but they're not going to be into the media side of things.
Yeah.
These things don't go together.
A lot of businesses too that I've noticed, it usually starts with two people. Like a lot of, at least shops that I've heard of starting, it starts with two guys. So you're already in the mood of having to trust someone else to do something. Whereas when I started my shop, it was 100% me and that's it. And so everything is done the way I wanted it done and all that. And so I haven't learned that to let go of control and trust someone else. And I know hiring an employee, they'll make mistakes and I'll have to cover it, and that's part of it. That's part of having an employee. I get that, but the relinquishing control to someone else or trusting someone else with literally my livelihood, everything I've worked up for in my life.
Well, the thing also, like when it comes to it, is that like some people don't understand that those little minute things have your reputation on the line.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We were talking about that. Like, I want to hire someone, like I said, to help with tires and oil changes, but they also have to be able to learn what to look for, because anybody can just pull a drain plug and put fresh oil in. The reason you take it to a shop is so while it's in there, they're like, oh, by the way, your shift shaft seal's leaking. Your brake pads are low. It feels like your steering neck might need to be adjusted during the test. Like catching all the other stuff that could save you time or a breakdown or a more costly repair further down the road, catching that before it causes a problem.
Yeah.
Like that's where the real benefit is in taking your bike to a professional to do something. Because if you know exactly what needs to be done, YouTube.
I don't even like going to the doctor. I'll figure it out. Yeah. I got 3 points of references: the service manual, fucking YouTube, and phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
If I can't figure it out with that, then whatever.
Yeah. I've never owned a service manual for my bike.
Sacrilegious.
I can see the steam coming out of Mark's head right there.
Now he knows what to buy you for Christmas.
I know exactly what I'm sending you once I get home.
No, but we were like talking earlier as far as my bike, like it hasn't had that many issues, but it's had some weird ones. So I did like a comp eliminator on it, and I was coming back from Laconia about 60 miles from home, and the whole stator basket, like the center broke out. And then it was making helly noise through the primary, and my battery light came on. I'm like, yeah, my stator's shot. I was like, I'm 60 miles
faster.
from home. I literally didn't stop. Like, and we filled up on the other side of the state. So I go to my buddy, and I just like point down, and he's like, I hear it. And we ended up making that. I'm like texting my buddy. I'm like, I'm not going to make it back to the campground. I was like, hey, can you give me a ride? Because his house is like right off the highway. I was like, I'm just going to bring my bike to your house. because I don't think I can go to stoplights and take back off. So I ended up making it back, but I took that thing apart and that was screwed up. So that was kind of a freak thing, but I don't know if it had something to do with the comp eliminator.
I mean, it could also be the fact that those rotors, when they went to Milwaukee 8s, they put the lightning holes in them, you know, so it's like it's got windows.
Because you got a machine center for the splines, and then the outside, and you see, because like I just seen it on the new one, I couldn't really tell on the old one because it was so wallowed out. But then it's welded, you know. So and it broke like right where that weld was.
Just
checking it out.
It definitely can happen.
So yeah, all bikes aside, so I'm excited for this weekend. Can you tell me a little more about that? You got this new shop, anniversary for podcast.
Yeah,
painting helmets and stuff.
Paint
that
helmets.
you love. Well, you see one.
Whatever this paint shit is,
dude, like, well, you know, like Mark came to the first one we did. We did the New Year's ride, the very first one I did.
Yeah, I was telling the story about that today, about how we like we stopped on I-30, and there's like, it was like, I think me and Richard and that Trent, he was like 16. I think he's an adult now, but he was a kid at the time. He was like 15 or 16, banging wheelies down I-30 on Harleys and stopping all the cars behind us. That shit was fucking fun.
The very first year we did this, we how did we start it? We went to Annville, and then we just said, you know, we're meeting here, and then we're gonna do a ride to Chopper Supply, remember? And then we ended up going by the LTD, Live the Dream tattoo guys.
And we went. Well, no, we also went by Strokers too, right?
No, we didn't go by Strokers because those LTD dudes are right down there.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So we went up to catch 183, but so we did a New Year's deal, and technically I started the Fast Life Garage in January of 2015, and I started the podcast. Technically, the very first one was released in January, so it's kind of like the anniversary of both sides of the business. And we had already been doing the New Year's ride that we were doing, and then last year we just said, fuck it, let's just do a party at Annville. You know, we did the New Year's or the anniversary party at Annville, but then the year before we did a ride. We went from here to Annville, and then from there we went to the truck yard and shit for the anniversary. And we were always just trying to kind of get some of the Dyna kids and FXR guys from up here together, and that's what we did the first year, you know, and the second year. And then now
this is the second.
This is the fifth year.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I need to walk out now.
Well, no. I take that back. No, this is the fifth year, but it's only the fourth year of what we've been doing.
I think. Yeah,
that's why I didn't want to do a podcast. Fifth year. Shit, it's so close. You could hit it with a stick.
But
so you're gonna do a ride?
No, fuck no, dude. That's a lost cause when you got a bunch of fucking degenerate people like us riding bikes.
If Mark's there, he's like, I got GPS. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That one I dropped.
I'll take it.
So,
but no, all the I've noticed that every time we would do a ride, like a real one, especially with everybody, like everybody's like, not everybody knows what it's like to ride in a group, and some of these roads in Dallas, like we can't be fucking mobbing them like that and living.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't make everybody happy. That's all I'm saying. Just move on from that, and you got to ride. You just fucking set a destination, put it in your whatever.
Be like, everybody's got a smartphone.
We'll see there.
What we tried to do was like piggyback, because when last year was the first year that they moved IMS from February down to January.
Yeah.
And so by doing so, it just made more sense to piggyback off this event. That way other people from out of town could come here and do that and do this and do this, and then it all kind of goes together.
Well, it takes the burden off you to keep people entertained the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Like, come into town, we're going to have the party, we're going to have the anniversary thing, but then when it's not that party, there's other things for you to do while you're here, and you don't have to play host to everyone.
With that being said, the red carpet ruins it for me because it's coming back from IMS. I'm like, I don't know. Anyway.
You wearing your bright red shoes right now?
Yeah, I thought Justin was gonna wear his.
What the fuck? Why do you not have red shoes on?
Oh, you better believe I brought them.
So the camp out last year, so the Fast Life camp out, he had the red shoes on. I was like, I don't know if I'm man crushing on his bike or his shoes right now.
I don't know. His fucking road glide is fucking
dude, it's fucking sick
as fuck.
Yeah, he can't talk that much on this podcast because we're doing one with him tomorrow.
I'm here.
Yeah, but so he and then Brad, my buddy Brad wears red, the same red Vans, and I don't know, I just thought they looked cool, and I picked them up, and I was like, you know what? When I go to Cali, you know, my bike is my bike, but if they don't recognize the bike, I want them to see the shoes. Yeah, it just screams at you when you're going down the highway and none of your colors match anywhere. You know,
That's the best.
But the reason I did red carpet in here is because fuck it.
It stands out with the red shoes. Before you even said anything, I couldn't help but notice.
It's like this shit was on discount. I was on a budget.
Yeah. Now I've always struggled because there's so many color combinations that I like, especially when you're like, I like gray the most, but you can literally throw gray with every fucking color and it looks good. It's kind of like black, right? And so when we first started the shop, we had like a gray and like a turquoise color, kind of like your shirt a little bit. And that I just I'm over that.
Yeah, for sure.
Your
If anybody wants get a little bit of art going on. I like it though.
Well, yeah, I'm trying. I was,
nice.
I was telling the guys because everybody and their mom has an opinion about what I should do here. No, but everyone's like, "Hey, you're gonna paint that wall?"
But nobody wants to come over to help.
No, it's not even that. Like, I just don't. I don't want to do anything that I don't want to be there. So I'd rather just leave it alone until I do something there that I want it to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Finished it like last weekend, or
Dude. I mean, technically, this whole week we've been still kind of This little board up here, there's a big ass fucking 2-inch gap between where the drywalls didn't meet up, and I was gonna leave it, but then we were just like, man, like,
I don't give a shit. I dig it. It's warm.
What's two boards?
This whole state's warm.
Yeah,
It's snowed
To
before I
you.
left.
It's warm to you.
Everybody's over here like just shivering. I'm like, this is beautiful.
Dude, like I said, Christmas Day here was 80 degrees, okay? So 40 degrees today is a little chilly or whatever it is outside.
oh, it feels great. I'm just glad we got good weather though. Like, I mean, last year was kind of like nothing was planned last year, but it worked out so cool when we did the strokers and the anvil. We just had a fucking blast.
Yeah, when I rolled in here, it was like freezing that one day, and I was kind of like bumming out. I was like, damn. But then just like weather turned around, it was beautiful the next day, and you know.
I mean, we're looking at 65 tomorrow and Sunday, so it's gonna be some good weather.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Should be a fun time.
That's why I was like tomorrow, like staying here and doing podcasts all day. It lets like all you other guys like yourself and Craig and to go out and ride and see go to strokers, do other Dallas shit. You know what I mean? So
Strokers is rad. I dig
Yeah,
that.
Strokers is sweet.
who owns who still owns the punching bag record? Is it you or was it that dude BA?
Who's keeping count?
I am, motherfucker.
He's like, I was pissed when he beat me.
Dude, you were sitting down and you said, putting my heart and soul into those swings, dude.
I'm married with a child, so it's different. You got Troy.
I got it. No, it was a good time at Strokers last year.
Yeah. Oh, then the ride to Anvil from Strokers, that one guy
From East Texas with the wheel.
Cracked a
blew
wheel.
his wheel out. Next thing you know, what'd you guys grab? A hitch out of a truck?
We
to
did.
use as a
Chris did.
hammer?
Chris
Moose
Moose
did,
is
yeah.
sitting there hitting it with a hammer, like a nail hammer, hammering this brand new bike's wheel back into shape.
Well, I was talking to Cody B the other day. I was like, hey, is that buddy coming out and you're saying something? He's like, dude, he rode on that wheel for like 6 more months. I was like, what? I think it was fucked.
That's legit.
Yeah, the only thing is like it was a lot nicer being downtown for the convenience of everything, but I mean everything's out here on this side of town now, so it's like whatever.
Yeah.
I enjoy it out here better than downtown. Not
Right.
gonna lie.
Yeah, downtown, it's whatever. It's cool to see, but sometimes
It's cool to
just
go
like
downtown. It's like
stoplight,
Vegas.
stoplight,
It's cool to go there, hang out, but then
Until
the place where you call home is not there.
Until everybody's staying in your spot.
Dude, how many people stayed in my house that
It was
year?
a lot. It looked like
Didn't you
There was
stay?
a ton. I don't know. There was like 2 or 3 air mattresses on the floor,
Yeah.
plus the couch. Every air mattress had 3 people on it.
Yeah.
And then the couch was
I slept
full.
great.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we have this house now so it's 3 bedrooms and shit, and it's like, I'm like trying to crack it to my wife. So Mark and Steve are staying. She's like, and I'm like, and Justin. And she's like, and I'm like, and Cody and his chick. So it's like,
She's like, I only have so many towels.
yeah, that's what she was saying. It's like, well, we gotta, because we only have, it's a 3-bedroom house with 1 bathroom, so that's the only thing that sucks. But the rest of them, like, look, dude, these are dudes. Like,
Right.
they just need I've slept on floors before. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's cheaper than a hotel. Like,
Have you slept on a bed with frozen sheets though?
yes, I have. I have slept on that bed before.
That's right.
Have you slept on the frozen bed yet?
No, he didn't stay the night. He just came in for the day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was
Me,
yeah.
6'4", 300 pounds, freaking sleeping on a twin-sized bed with frozen sheets.
I
good thing
forgot
about
he's
it-
my size. I was like, oh yeah, he'll sleep on Tila's
Yeah.
bed. It'll be fine. And I walk in there to wake him up, and his like knees are hanging off the end of the bed. I was like, fuck. I totally
The good thing about it, though, is if anytime you're going to Mark's and you're going to hang out the shop before you go home, you're not getting to the house till 3 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
We flew in.
Good
All
thing I
right.
don't have to work tomorrow.
I flew in, like 12:30. My flight got rescheduled, and next thing you know, got a case of claws from them, and then we went and hit like 2 bars for just 1 drink, and we were just catching up. Next thing you know, we're up till like 5 in the morning. We're like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
fuck,
we
what
got
are we
home.
doing?
I was like, we'll be in bed by like 2:30, so that way we can wake up and go to work at a decent time. And I looked down on the phone, it says like 5 o'clock. I was like, I gotta get some sleep, man. I do have to get something done tomorrow. I can't just be
Story of
completely
your life.
unproductive.
Like, oh,
That's a
shit.
mark at every campground with a fucking
time is it?
12-pack of fucking Bang energy drinks.
Well, that was the thing, is I wasn't drinking energy drinks. I was drinking alcohol, so I felt like complete. I think that was the first time I drank since like the summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I bought them fully intending to give them all to him, and then we get back to the house, and I had a couple vodkas at the bar, and I was like, you know what? I'll have a couple, and then the whole.
Did you have a
pack was
headache
gone.
when you woke up the next day?
The
I
headache
felt
wasn't.
like fuck.
I didn't have a headache at all.
Dude, those things give me a
But
massive headache.
I was just, I could tell I
I
was
didn't eat all
sluggish.
day,
I didn't have the same energy level as I normally have. I could tell I was a little sluggish, but
Right.
It takes a lot to bring this man down.
I've done
Seen him
a
in
lot.
action.
Done a lot of things to my body, you know.
Yeah, and trust me, we're all working on a fun, like, just that way when you go.
So where's the claws around here?
They're not, this is Texas.
I tried. Listen, I tried to
I
buy
got
them.
my
They were
horsepower
out.
rank ain't no laws koozie for my claws.
Did fucking Jimmy make you a small ass koozie for the fucking White
Dude, they
Claws?
sell them on their
They
website.
sell them now.
When he sent me that exhaust, he sent me like a 6-pack of claws
Golly.
with it. I fucking love it.
I tried to grab a pack at the QT, but for whatever reason,
I was
y'all's
really
QT doesn't
hoping
sell
you were
them.
gonna
Hey,
come back
guess
with
what? There will be women here tomorrow, and I'm sure they'll bring fucking White Claws for you.
Perfect.
So yeah, tomorrow. I can't fucking wait.
Dude, I'm not talking to your wife.
Yes, you fuck. That's how I know you're full of shit, 'cause you just said you weren't gonna do it. That's how I know you're gonna do it.
I'm not. I'm gonna be like,
I can't fucking wait.
no,
That's it though, right? We're gonna end it here.
no. No, we got another hour left.
Well, no, not the podcast for tomorrow.
I don't know what it's gonna be like tomorrow because I've never like I was talking with the guys. I was like, so we have a big pit out in the back to do a fire, and then we have beer, and then people are gonna bring beer too, so that'd be great. But other than that, like, I don't know what the fuck people are gonna do besides just talk. You know what I
Ain't
mean?
nothing wrong with that.
We brought. I got cornhole and washers and all that
Yeah,
shit. So if
I
anybody
saw
wants to
some
get that
concrete out there.
ass whooped, huh?
There's concrete.
So you want to get it shut down, or is that what you're saying?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Were there other people that rented the spaces around here?
Oh yeah, everything. There's a house right. The fence is a house right there. So.
Send them an email now and let them know.
Well, they know we're gonna have a
Friends
party.
over.
They know we're gonna have a party. I just, I've never done one here, so I don't know what that will do to me futurely.
Futurely.
Set the bar now. I like this. You know what we can't do after tomorrow.
How do you know where the limit is if you don't go past it?
And it's there every time. Beauty of it.
What'd you say you were? The habitual line stepper? Is that
That's that rule, yeah, don't worry about that. Let's cross that bridge when we get there.
what- when the lights the cherry lights start going, the fucking garage door falls down, and the door. If you're outside, you're fucked. Better be in the back.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, see, I don't know about the fire in the back. We don't have a burn ban right now, but I don't know how that works with commercial businesses and bonfires. So, and it's.
I'll light my cigarette off and be like, it's my lighter. Don't worry about it.
There you go. Figure it out.
Yeah.
It'll work.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Is there a burn ban for fireworks or anything like that?
I don't think there is.
Well, that's the difference between thinking and knowing. We got to know. Google that shit real quick.
So what you're saying is you're going to roll up with a bunch of mortars and start firing off fireworks tomorrow?
Who got the black cats? Oh, if you didn't get on the.
This is this guy.
What?
Fireworks?
Oh yeah.
Kyle.
Oh,
You haven't seen I don't know, maybe they don't have any in from Arkansas, but on the side of the road out here, there's trailers that sell fireworks.
Like out of
you serious?
Like inner city, you know?
So I can't have a $2,000 ticket.
No, we're not doing
I
That's
that.
how they do like the inner city?
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Like
There
Peter.
was already.
I don't know.
Fuck coming anyway.
Yeah,
So.
cool.
I know that like in Austin you can, for sure. There's
Like in the
definitely.
city?
What?
I mean,
Fireworks.
My parents live in the city.
You
and
could
there's fireworks.
like we're county over here, and you're out of the Dallas County. So we're in Ellis County, and I'm in county, so not city limits. So that you could do more out here.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have to get a permit to build all this shit.
I didn't even ask when I did anything at my shop. I don't
mean-
think I have a CO for my shop. I don't have anything.
Well, in certain areas they don't. They're not as strict on. Yeah. It's better to ask for forgiveness and permission sometimes.
Oh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
Oh, seriously?
Oh, you mean you can't do 120 miles an hour with your feet on the handlebars leaning against the tour pack? Oh, I'm sorry, officer. I had no idea.
Man, so you were at the show earlier, right?
For a little bit, yeah.
So you know that dude Rob and everything, or what?
No, actually, I didn't even meet him. Right, I was talking to Tice.
Uh-huh.
I knew him from decades ago, living in Florida. But yeah, I saw their show. They killed it.
Yeah, we were watching it earlier, and I was telling the Curtis Hoffman, I was like, the circle wheelie shit in the Harley thing is fresh. Like that's something that's just now coming along, right? Or is that something?
Yeah, for the most part.
Because like that's such a different dynamic on like a Sportster or some shit. And I saw him like attempting it at Sturgis Bell Brawl this year, and they were kind of working some of the baggers and some of the dynos were trying to work in the circles, but. That dude Rob he did how many fucking?
They did that contest for 10 in a row.
Yeah, the sport bike did it easy because he's been practicing like the first sport bike circle wheelie was like 2004 or some shit.
10 in a row, you know.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Well, I think it also is. It's more mainstream now because like if you go, I mean, he's been doing circles on Harleys for.
Well, regardless of circles, just the entertainment value. It's hard to like entertain with that. A lot of guys are. You're doing like 1,001 things at once.
I feel like as if I was going to say I was a spectator of it, I'm more interested in seeing people wheelie in places they're not supposed to wheelie, and then doing the drifting and the burnout shit. Like not burnouts, but like drifting around like that shit. It's like yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You got to make it entertaining.
You know, most people don't understand like until like even you just riding a motorcycle, like how cool some of that shit that they do is. You know, like watching them just even stand on the seat. I'm like, fuck, I don't even know if I can stand on the seat when it's on the side stand.
Which is great because we could do the most complicated trick and nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Stand on the seat, fucking hands.
Like until you actually like ride a motorcycle, or you know how the dynamics of it is. Like then you start understanding like that's fucking badass what they just did.
What you just said, that is the equivalent of me doing a lace paint job.
Let's not go there.
Oh my god, that is so amazing! How'd you do that? I'm like, oh well, you just lay this on it and spray through, and you walk away. Literally.
No, what I was telling Mark earlier, just waiting for him to do like endos on road glides.
Yeah. I've seen some Harleys, but it's not road glides yet. It's not like touring bikes yet.
I've seen somebody do it unintentionally. I'm not going to mention any names, but that was fucking rad. I thought for sure he was dead, but
lay it down or no?
No.
Whoa.
No, I don't know how.
That's crazy.
If these are any hints, it was on a landing ramp. He cased the jump and it kicked the ass end up and went down the landing ramp on one wheel on a road glide. Wow. Very exciting, very dangerous, but very
I don't think he ever put that bike back together either.
Well, he broke it. Whatever.
He snapped a frame or something, didn't he?
Who was that?
Not
Like
that
Cole?
time. So yeah, I'm not going to mention any name. No, it's Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was.
He's the only fucking dude jumping Harleys right now, right?
For the moment. I mean, big jumps.
Danger Doug. What was his name?
You see that?
Oh, God.
You see that fucking
that was
jump
so
that he
bad.
did before Sturgis?
Oh, when he fell off?
Like hit a false neutral or something?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So that's his 750.
Yeah.
I came out to Fort Worth, Harley, had some friends out there, and I was just stopping in. He's like, "Oh, you gonna stick around for the jump?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got shit to do." He's like, "I'm jumping the road glide." I'm like, "I'm there. I'm all day, bro. I gotta see this shit."
Funny thing about those plans, they just disappeared. I'll be here now.
Yeah, he sent it. That day is when he did the stoppie.
Wow.
That's a big set of balls that I don't have to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if y'all want to go fuck around later, there's a fucking railroad track over there that's got a little ramp.
I mean, I've jumped off like a curb and like railroads where the wheel's like an inch or two off the ground. You know, maybe 6 max, but
I don't do well when the wheels don't touch the ground.
I had it one time with my old V-Rod. Fucking, I go up over some railroad tracks. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to goose it on the backside, maybe pick the front tire up. I just goosed it too early, and then the back of the bike bucked up. I was wearing a backpack. That hit me in the back of the helmet, and then I was looking at the front fender just completely over. I was so surprised I never fell
Dude, I've
off
legit
it,
in my life, I can't tell you when, but in the course of riding bikes, had a dream where I could proficiently just ride wheelies at a slow pace, like doing 10, 20 miles an hour, just control it. That was the gist of my dream. Like, I'm just going to wheelie right here.
Mine are the opposite. I crash in, flipping, spinning, parts are everywhere, and I wake up, I'm like, oh shit, it was just a dream. I gotta go look out in the garage, I'm like, it's there.
There you go.
Just the fucking dream.
What's it like traveling around doing all these different shows for everybody?
It's exciting, man. I dig it, just mastering different areas, meeting new people. Inspiring is probably the biggest thing that was like the coolest part of this journey so far.
Yeah, it was weird because when we first met, we were talking, we knew a lot of the same people from way back in the sport bike days.
Yeah.
But you've been doing that shit from way back then too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just getting out, man, doing my thing, having fun doing it. The fuck you laughing at? There was a moment there where, I got a little high and was just take this shot real quick.
You gonna kill that bottle in 2020?
Go.
Should have been Mark. He's a bigger guy. He can handle that shit.
We got to go to the bar after this. My brother's playing his music.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Way to fuck that up. I can't wait. When's that?
As soon as we get done here, actually, I think about 9:30, we're gonna roll over there. You ever been to the Boxcar?
Maybe. Do they do stand-up comedy there too?
I'm sure they do something like that. It's like it's like the perfect hole in the wall bar that everybody goes to on this side of town, in my opinion.
I don't know. Have you ever been?
What city is it?
It's technically Cedar Hill is technically the city it's in.
So the Boxcar in Cedar Hill.
Yeah.
Your brother?
What about
Tonight?
him? Yeah.
Well, if they're listening to this, then it's not live feed, right? So
Nope. You'll hear about this on Monday.
what's the name of your brother's band again?
The After Party.
The After Party.
Yeah.
You spelled it
It's-
different though. Like
Yeah. I can't spell anyway, so it sounds like it's the right way.
Yeah, right?
I think
they
they took
took the
all
E
the
out.
vowels out. I think it's all consonants. Just FTRPRTY.
it's the after party.
No, the crazy thing about it, like his music is not like I dig it. Like,
Oh, I dig it too.
honestly, if it wasn't his music and it came on the radio, I'd be like, oh fuck yeah, who's this? But it's his, and I know how he sweeps, so I'm like, fuck that dude.
No, you had like that little.
music off your
Can
sweeping
you stop being a
skills.
dick
That
for a
little-
second?
No, I can't.
You had that little
That's
mini
okay.
edit with like that Garley's garage bike that you painted and shit. It was like, I don't know what you guys were out in SEMA just rolling through the desert. That was
Yeah.
fucking sick. And then I was like, like, oh shit, that's
Dude, that lake that we went to take those photos is like I've literally ridden past that a million times. I didn't know it was right there off the highway.
Yeah.
It's a sick ass place to take photos and ride
Dude, I
on
was
the
so
lake
jealous. That was the biggest disappointment this year was not going to SEMA.
You should have went.
I wanted to so bad, man. And I busted my ass to get that bike done, and I was just so exhausted.
You remember what we said earlier? It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Well, it wasn't that. It was just
when
I was just exhausted, man. I knew that if I went,
you could have slept in the truck on the way there.
But with whose truck? I didn't.
Oh,
you know, I can't sleep while I drive.
What truck took it there? You know, just
take your own
lay
advice.
in the trailer next to it.
It's simple. You fucking make a choice and you stick with it.
Yeah, no, I need to.
And you deal with the consequences.
That's it.
Too.
The good thing is, like, if you're good at what you do, people will understand that you're just doing what you do, and you need to get away from time to time.
Yeah.
And if people can't deal with that, then you just
It's so much better to tell them to fuck off.
Trust me. I got like 8 customers left.
Professional manner.
Yeah, because like Mark said, he was like possibly going to come out in my camp out this year. You know, that didn't happen. I don't know how many other things. Like
Every event
you're
I
lucky
plan
that
on.
you even came. To
Yeah.
I know. I'm such a fucking
The fast life one.
I'm such a loser.
The weather was great up there.
Dude, I felt bad as shit. So after the Fast Life camp out, like Justin here and Craig were supposed to come. We were all going to go to Sturgis.
Yeah.
And then my grandfather passed, and I was like, I'm not going. And then literally like 2 days before, like I think it's the same shit you did to me for fucking
For the hot bike tour. I was like,
you text me and go, hey, you going to Sturgis? And I'm like, I don't know if I said no at first and then said yes or what, but I was like, it's like when you have enough friends ask you if you're doing something that you start feeling left out from the whole deal. You're like, fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
That's how like Sturgis was for me this year. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going. I was like, I have no plans. Like our buddy from Spad for Choppers, Matt, he told me like way back in March, he's like, hey, I got this house, you know, you can stay at. So I'm like, oh, I kind of got a place. And then finally I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going. You know, I talked to you and I was like, you're like, what's midway point? And we can meet up. And I said something and then you're like, how about Omaha? And then, you know, we ended up meeting up in Omaha. But then, yeah, Justin and Craig definitely told me.
I felt bad.
Well, yeah,
They told me how mad they
Just
were.
like, I'm not going, so I was like, fuck it, I'll go to up north. And so that's what I did. And that was all. It was a fun ride up there.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that was
Fucking
cool.
weather sucked though.
Yeah,
Well,
even
if-
the fucking monsoons came in.
Yeah.
Well, I went to Michigan thinking like, oh, it's gonna be nice and cool. Fuck, it was 95 degrees the whole time. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave before this weather comes in. Nah, they shut the highway down leaving because it was so bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all get like tornado type shit up there or what?
No, like we just had this like random monsoon that came in. I was sleeping in.
Is
a
that what y'all
tent.
call them up there? Is monsoons or
I
just
don't know when it
Fucking
was.
monsoon.
okay?
Like when it came in, like I was sleeping in my tent and like the rain was coming in, and like I just have like a standard square, like 7 foot by 7 foot tent. I wake up and well, it's a 4-person tent, but I'm a pretty big dude, so it's a 1 person. But I wake up and the tent is blowing over 6 inches from my face because there's so much rain, and then it starts leaking through it. Like my tent's like 6 years old, but like all the waterproofing must be gone. It's just literally leaking through and then raining on me, and then it's just like I'm getting a puddle in the bottom, and then my pillow is getting all wet. But I was so wasted that I was like, I just need to sleep. Like I don't even care. Like
My door was broke completely, so I had to like ball up in the corner. It was fucking soaked.
You didn't even pick up your tent before you
Fuck
left.
that tent. Yeah. It was brand new too. Like I literally unboxed it and unzipped it, and the zipper broke immediately. And then I got wet, and I was like, "Fuck this place."
So like, yeah, that was a freak thing, whatever the whole weather, but. The ride up was
The
cool.
ride was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I met him in, was it Grand Rapids?
No, Muskegon, right on the lakeshore.
So which was like almost 900 miles from me.
Yep.
And then he's fresh. And then so he wants to start ripping all these back roads around the lake. And he's like getting in. I'm like one-eyed.
Well, then I go take him to like M22, which is a sweet like.
Sounds like a firecracker.
It's
or a strip club.
it's a sweet like curvy ass road that ends up hanging out by or by Lake Michigan and everything. And then so I'm fresh and we're ripping down in the snow. Like
I literally left Little Rock at 3 a.m. And this
like,
is
dude, let's just
6
get
or
there.
7. Yeah, and he's like, "No, I'll take this cool way." And from there, it was like literally an hour, but we took a 2.5 hour route. Yeah,
It was worth it.
It's the best way to do it sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good.
Yeah,
Time.
because then we met up with we met up with some other people that were from like Toledo area, and then we got on the highway, and then Justin, like, we get passed by this dude on, I don't know, like an older fat Bob or something.
I have something in me. If you pass me, it's immediately race. I don't care where we're at.
I was up front. I was just going like 85, or 80, and then that dude passes us, and then Justin just twists the wick, and next thing you know, I was just like, all right, and then we had 4 other guys behind us, and then it was like, all right, we got one, and his 3 other buddies are way behind. We're going like 120, and I'm like, how is this 5-speed just holding this?
That's the reason you didn't make it down here this weekend.
It didn't make it?
The oil pump's going out. The starter clutch is going out. It just needs a makeover. I'm dumping all the money in the FXR, so yeah.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
Save that for now.
Yeah.
Trust me, I got some fucking questions because you keep posting things on the internet that I'm like, wait, what?
I will say this, like, my machinist, Justin, he's fucking talented.
I have 900 followers. How come I don't have that blue check yet? What's up? I gotta email them.
Yeah. Gotta get that verification.
That was sitting there, part of the reason that Steve took the Softails. I was like, I don't want to tear the Road Glide apart until I'm ready to install Justin's parts, and it's going to take probably between the stuff I need to do and put your stuff on. It's probably going to take 2 or 3 days. And I was like, I just want to do it all at once.
Yeah.
I want to leave it where it is now, and then just tear it down once and put it back together.
I didn't know the Softail was an option when I was coming down here. I'm fucking
That's
glad
a good
I'm
fucking
riding
option,
it.
dude. I love that bike.
Dude, that bike is gorgeous.
I mean, Softail's great. I mean, the Road Glide's pretty hard to look at, though.
Well, that was what we were talking about. I go, how funny would it be if we go to Jace's party and the one bike I have that's running that he actually painted, we didn't bring, we left it home.
I knew in my head.
The shitty stock painted bikes.
I knew in my head that Mark was riding the FXR because Mark, ever since that FXR's been on the road, it's a fucking cherry ass FXR for one, and he's got it dialed in now. So I knew he was riding it, but I didn't know if you were going to ride the Road Glide or the.
Oh, I was like fully planning. Like,
I tried to find a third person. I was like, if I find a third person that wants to go, I'll spend the time, and get the Road Glide on the road, so that way we can take all 3.
Technically, the Road Glide, you just needed like sprocket bolts, but then you wanted to change out the front sprocket.
Yeah, there was more I wanted to do, but if I had a third person, I could have got it on the road in like an hour. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It feels cool, because that time I had Jetty ride my Road Glide to Daytona.
Yeah.
It feels cool to see your bike and then look over.
Oh, that was my favorite part about the ride. Is like I'm sitting there riding next to him, and I go, damn, that's a good looking bike right there. That's my bike right there. It looks so dope.
Yeah. I dig that part of it.
Yeah, that's it's a chance you never get almost ever.
Yeah.
To see your bike, how it goes down the road, and then to also hear your bike like accelerating and decelerating, not from the position of the seat, but from behind and the other sides. It's fun.
I will say, because I rode one Sport Glide. My buddy's got a bone stock Sport Glide that's new Softail chassis, and then riding Marks today. Dude, that bike fucks. Like, just
straight line, it fucks, dude.
Dude, it's comfortable as hell. It's just a cam and a pipe and a power vision. Like, the power's there. It's usable.
I think he's hiding some shit. He's not.
I'm running. He's got a chain drive on it. In the factory mids. Like, I'm a bigger dude. Like, I was questioning the mids, and I'm riding it. I'm like, wow, these are super comfortable.
Yeah.
That's what I love about everybody that's big, tall, long, lanky, whatever you want to say, that say that they can't ride mid controls, and then I'm like, have you met Mark?
Well, then I rode Kevin from Big Bear Choppers.
Yeah, you rode the white one, right?
I rode his white Road Glide, which he has his mids on out in Sturgis, and I was like, wow, these aren't as bad. I thought I was just going to be cramped. I'm so.
I was nervous, dude. I was nervous because on my mids, I literally had to, chomp off the fucking brake hanger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, all right, well, if these don't work out, I just have to buy this new plate.
Yep.
But You know, and I did it like right before Texas Hills, before I got into it with, you know, I was having a conversation with your wife.
Before I became Dr. Phil for the weekend.
Yeah.
But then, honestly, like after kind of riding his bike, I'm considering. I'm like, I don't know. I kind of want to throw. I kind of want to throw some mids on the roadside. You know,
You should.
doing some
Do it.
some winter modifications to it and everything. So.
I think the biggest thing is fine. Like I'm glad that there's a lot of companies. You know, that's what me and Curtis were talking about, and we kind of went off in a rabbit hole at the show. But there's so many like the performance bagger shit this year is about to be. It's gonna be super mainstream now. Yeah, I mean, like there's things in the works that I don't know if you know about, but like I say this like it's some kind of reveal, but there's a lot of things going on where it's going to be a much more like predominant scene now. So like Daytona, Sturgis, all these events, it's going to be much more performance bagger oriented than it's been like big wheel stuff in the past.
You know, I'm trying to be part of that. You know, like as much as I've only been in the performance bagger thing for like 2 years, you know, but I try to be part of it. I try to promote it, you know, and, you know, I answer questions to people all the time and everything. So, you know.
Well, what about, like, we haven't talked about your smoke and mirror shit you got going on up there.
I'm just excited about Big Wheel. That's
So it's like on Instagram, like you're posting pictures of a frame with a cut off, you know, full neck system set up. But then, and you also got rid of your inverted front end.
Oh, did I?
Did you? Hey, you don't come here hiding secrets, man. You just throw this shit out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm doing a 23 by 5.5 inch front wheel. Then I'm going to do an equal 23 by 5.5 inch rear wheel with 14 inches of ground clearance is what I'm going for.
Board tracker, I get it.
Does that have a side cart?
Gonna need it. I'm 6'4" and I'm still not going to be able to touch.
So the, I mean, can you talk? Yeah,
like I've been fucking with people. It's funny. So,
actually, what was the biggest like thing wanting you to go this direction with doing the front suspension? Is it more of a trying to push yourself as a rider, or push the limits of the different options that are out there?
My problem is, like, you know, personally, I get bored. Yeah, no, like people are like, why would you take off the inverted front end? And like, I love learning. I wrench on my own shit, so like, you know, I usually have a.
But can you wrench?
I can wrench.
Okay.
I've had 1,000 horsepower trucks that I've built and everything. Like I can wrench.
Apparently.
But I'm actually I'm pulling the inverted front end off, and then I'm gonna try out that Nix 30 from Big Bear, and then he says it works out like how the inverted front end, and I'm hoping
You're gonna
to be the person
one to
that's
say.
gonna tell you. You know,
I would trust your opinion more than anybody else's, considering that you've had one and the other.
Yeah, I've had 35,000 miles of beating the fuck out of my bike on that inverted front suspension and the Öhlins rear suspension. So I just get bored. I wanted to switch things up, because if I wouldn't have, you know, decided to change that out, I probably would have just looked at my bike and I might have waxed a couple things, and, you know, I wouldn't have even worked on it any farther. But now I'm just going through. I'm going to do I'm planning on a repaint. My rear fender's fucked up from doing wheelies, so, you know, I'm going to do a little chop action in the back there. I wanted to play around with the rake a little bit. So, you know, the factory trees, you know, you have a 26-degree neck with like about 4-degree trees. And then I'm actually going to try a 6-degree tree. So it's going to rake it out a little bit, but with the neck in front of the forks, me raking it out is actually going to bring my trail from 6.9 down to about 5.5. You know, like a Dyna's trail is like 5.1 or 5.2. I think a FXR's
They're known
trail.
to wobble, so go ahead.
Well, FXR's trail is 4.22.
Okay. So you're trying to shorten the trail?
Yeah, like.
And that was the whole concept behind trail braking, right? Is to shorten the trail? Or is it long?
Like, shorten the trail, it's like you're almost essentially shorten the wheelbase to make it
more nimble?
Turn in faster.
Okay.
You know, so technically I'm actually extending the wheelbase, but I don't do like super technical slow turns. Like, I like blasting, you know, a nice sweeper at 130.
Okay.
So it's almost like a give and take. You know, you can do it with keeping the bike low, and then you actually, take some out of the trees, you're going to increase the trail. The turn-in's going to be better, but then at that point, you're going to need a steering stabilizer, because it's going to act like a shopping cart wheel at speed.
Yeah.
So I'm playing around with it.
No, that makes sense, yeah.
So, and then as far as like the trees I'm trying, if it doesn't work, I'll go back to stock trees, or I might even just go back to the stock trees just to try it out, because I have no like nacelle or gauges like where it is. I could probably change trees out in an hour, you know. So I might go rip down a road.
Make sure you change the bearings because Mark will be pissed. He'll be pissed.
Doing it all wrong.
So
you
didn't press in new races and everything?
You made me feel this big when I had my bike down there.
Yeah.
Looks at you like, what the fuck, dude?
It's like you got to tape up the whole bike and just leave one hole. Like, fix this spot, look at nothing else.
I used a 3/8 extension and I just tapped it out.
I was like, I need my bike tuned. He's over there fixing my throttle and like under it. I was like, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, between I'm changing out the front suspension, and then some paint, doing a little chopping, and then plan on changing the cam out. I'm gonna try a different option because I just had like a Zippers 468 cam ever since I did the 124, and then so I have a couple options on the plate. I'm gonna do a little bit more research, and then.
Turn my dirt devil off, bro. That's my Christmas present. Yeah, I got a vacuum cleaner for fucking Christmas.
So pumped on my vacuum cleaner for Christmas,
dude.
And then I'm trying out HPI's new Shorty stainless pipes.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really don't know. So
dude, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this year because I think that a lot more companies are going to be bringing on products, and I've been trying to encourage everybody I know in the parts game to start creating products and parts for the performance anything industry, because what we need right now is variety and options. Because when you're building bikes, like, you want to build a bike that's not the same as everybody else's. And for the last 2 years, it's kind of been this cookie cutter thing. Yeah. Even though, yes, there's a ton of money going into each one of these bikes, it's still.
There's been a lot.
The picture at Sturgis that I took of all the Olins lined up with black fenders is perfect, is a perfect analogy of what it is right now.
Yeah. But there's been a ton of, I think, learning on what works in the past couple of years, because there's been a smaller crowd. Mark's, had mids and taller suspension on a road glide, way before all of us. But now you're getting more people doing it. We're figuring out what works and what don't work, and then actually listen to people that ride hard, or do they just do some city riding and, try to look cool, so.
What me and Curtis were talking about at the show a while ago was about how right now, because we both were in the big wheel thing whenever it kind of took place, and we saw how it was and how it progressed, and what we're both equally enthused about this thing is that how everybody involved is cool with each other, and everybody is been supporting each other, and they're down. Goddamn.
It was a jewel, not weed. Fucking fiending for a cigarette over here. I'm like, jeez. Sorry.
But yeah, everybody's just cool right now, and right now we're trying to really just keep the our little corner of this industry like that, where everybody's supportive and cool and
Yeah, because when we were out in Sturgis, we had a bunch of performance bagger guys. It was so cool to meet all those guys. We all had like minds, and then just going out for rips, and everybody could ride. It wasn't it was.
Well, Daniel is questionable.
for as small as Daniel is, Daniel can rip.
He can rip. I didn't get to see him rip, so I don't know.
We ended up going out to what is that? Devil's Tower.
Yeah.
That's way out. And then on the way back, there's, the high speed, nice corners. He's I'll be honest with you, I like those better. The Titan Technical, he's not a big dude. So for him to throw around an 800-pound bagger, some people throw around Dynas, it's still impressive. He's not a bad rider.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just had to fuck with them. No, but that's the same way. Like the super tight technical ones are, even for me, a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated to judge. Because you're almost like deciding on two corners at once in a sense.
Well, the biggest thing is there's not room for error.
Yeah.
The smaller the turn is, the less room for error there is. So you have a big giant sweeper.
Scary thing about the giant sweeper though is that there's plenty of room to realize you fucked up. Oh shit! It's my turn to piss.
Damn it! I was gonna go piss. All right.
At least put us on a topic before you leave.
Go back to what he was talking about. The more exciting times of riding when you know you fucked up. Like, shit, I got to deal with this now. That's the first thing I fucked up, and I got to deal with this now.
Yeah, that's like that Lime Creek road that you showed. Like that road, just super technical.
Yeah,
we'll
go rip that on Sunday if you want when we get back.
If it's Sunday, I'm gonna Sunday cruise it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
not on my own bike.
Well, I was about to say you're not on your bike, so we won't fucking push it. Plus, I mean, the FXR, this is the first time I've really rode it with the new suspension and the new exhaust and the seat and the bars and all that stuff. So
all the excuses come out.
I'll give as many excuses as I want.
I got
I'm a terrible
this fucking
rider.
thing when I woke up. My left foot.
My eyes twitching. I got an eyelash. The sun was in my eyes.
You got a solid setup on that FXR though.
It's fun.
You put money where you needed to and not where you didn't.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. I want to keep it. But I don't know. I need to sell it. I honestly seeing that straight shooter today.
Yeah.
Brown Cycle was up at IMS and they had the straight shooter on display.
Yeah, Racket Pull Industries on Instagram.
Yeah, he makes it, but it was Brown Cycle had their booth up there and they had that straight shooter, and seeing that thing,
that was super cool.
I was like, man, I definitely am highly considering getting rid of at least a bike or two to pick up one.
Yeah, so. Between just aligning bikes, you don't know like how much a bike being out of alignment, how bad it can affect the handle.
Well, it's like people sit there and they're like, well, how much does a tune really help? And I can show people, like, when you tune a bike, it makes a giant difference. Having a tool to measure and then set it correctly makes a huge difference. And I'm assuming it's going to be the exact same way in a chassis. Like right now, I'm kind of tuning chassis and aligning chassis similar to how old timers would tune carburetors. Like, it feels a little this way, so we need to go a little leaner. It's making this noise. We need to go a little fatter. That's how I'm kind of tuning chassis in a sense. I mean, I'm using tools to measure, but it's not tools that are designed to measure. It doesn't have lasers. It's not. Yeah, there's no lasers.
Laser beams on top of their freaking heads.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things I'm definitely considering after seeing, because he's a really nice guy. He's called a bunch of times and he never pushes. He's never like, you need to buy it now. He's just like, hey, I'm just calling to check in. I just wanted to let you know, see if you were ready, because I told him I want it and I do still want it. But after seeing it and talking to his name's Jake, right? Jake. From listening to the way that he talked about his bike and
that's his name on Instagram is Hate Farm. Jake from Hate Farm.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
So listening to him and talk about how it's changed just to the way that he rides his bike.
And that Dyna wasn't like nothing crazy.
Yeah, he was saying it's a stock 88-inch motor.
It was a typical.
It's a T-Sport, by the way. Get your shit together.
Yeah,
it's a T-Sport.
My bad.
Stock
T-Sport.
But like it wasn't. Yeah, it was just.
Yeah, but like listening to his testimonial, and then I know how important aligning a chassis is and how it can affect everything from motor mount wears to tire wearing to what happens when, like, if it's not aligned correctly and you roll off the throttle, it can affect which way the bike pull. Like, you can roll off the throttle and the bike will pull one direct, and all these different things, and so. After seeing it and then how nice Al has been every time I've talked to him on the phone, and then how nice he was in person, and then seeing the level of detail in the actual product and how quality it is, I'm definitely gonna. Yeah, that's another goal this year, is to try and purchase that for the shop.
So you're gonna do more work.
Yeah, right. So that Sturgis trip. We're gonna have to. It's like, I want to say it's somewhere around, probably shipped to the door 7-ish. So
how much does it cost for the service?
I don't know.
I don't either. That was the one thing I didn't want to ask.
I think,
like, will it make me faster than Mark?
It's like
easy. I want the easy button.
2 to 3 hours, I think, is what it takes generally.
Yeah, because like that bike sitting there on display had like the tanks off, the shocks off.
Yeah.
They had it up through the neck stem.
So you can't do a bagger with stereos. It'd be a bitch to get to the shocks.
I don't think anybody with big wheel bagger stereos is going to be aligning their chassis.
They're coming.
They got way bigger problems. Like, oh man, when I take this 5-degree turn, my saddlebag scrapes on the ground. It's crazy.
Once they know that you can make their shit not wobble and all those crooked necks out there, they're just going to put the little adjusters.
I can't fix the crooked necks, so I'm not getting the whole.
But you can
pull. I can
compensate.
But how long are you going fast enough to wobble?
Well, I mean, the trailer goes really fast when it's going down the road.
What was it the other day? It was like somebody had like a big wheel, and then it had. I swear it was an 8-inch rotor on the front of this thing, unless just the wheel was that.
Oh,
big.
they have those.
They're tiny, and then I'm like, I wonder if that stops it before it hits the front of the trailer.
The answer is
no. They did. I think American Suspension came out with that. They have a
piston.
Yeah, it's in the fork leg itself.
Like I would almost be scared to like spin the wheel in the air on the forks and then hit the brake and hope it just stops just the wheel.
Well, yeah, the other thing before it, like my last white bagger, my big wheel, I had the Glendyne was kind of like the performance looking thing of the big wheel thing, and they had some sick shit, even sick wheels today. If they made those wheels for like the performance scene, that'd be dope. But they had like a 16 and an 18-inch rotor, right? And I had the 16 with the like they called it a Corvette caliper on it, even though it wasn't. But it was a huge fucking caliper.
Like I can get behind that. Like,
so this is what happens though.
Was it 1 or 2?
1. So what happens is, like when you're riding, on a road glide, it's all raked out. I could see the caliper like through the fork area, and when I hit the brake, I can see that caliper do this each time because it's such a massive rotor, and you got this billet bracket holding it out there, and then you got this 800-pound bike that is trying to stop. It's gonna flex. So you would almost need a radial setup that was mounted into the actual fork leg itself to compensate for that flex there.
Like I could get behind bigger brakes, with the bigger wheel than them trying to be like, all right, well, let's make it smaller to make it more appealing. Like, I don't know, like brakes, not really something I want to,
These days, man,
on.
the only thing that people need to do to sell performance products is just put performance in the title. And on the ad, like, it's performance brakes, and then it's different. You're like, oh, I guess they figured out something else. That's
another thing I've been seeing a lot lately. So rotors between Lindahl has been, what's their crown cut, or if that's their old one, they're taking so much material out. I think Galford just put something on Instagram how much, they have new rotors that they're taking all the material out. RYD wheels, is coming out with a new rotor.
Those new wheels from RYD look good.
Yeah. I like them.
I do too.
On the race light hubs and everything, being performance. But I'm just wondering, like, I don't technically know, like, how much, like, where's the point where taking material away from a rotor and getting the gases out and then everything, is it now going to decrease performance on the actual rotor?
I got some uneducated opinions about this. Uneducated.
Well, when you take the material out, you might, there's
base
less
it off the
surface
rider.
area, but your clamping force actually goes up.
Okay.
Because the same amount of pressure is now only touching a smaller portion of the rotor.
Yeah.
So
and cooling, right?
And cooling, yeah. I mean, you've got airflow over it, cooling it. You've got the venting of the gases and all that stuff. But then
that's what happens when you take the material off.
You sit there and you can, now the clamping force goes up for the same diameter rotor. So.
Yeah. So I wonder.
Plus, it's the rotating mass thing. So like, the whole reason big wheel baggers stop like shit is because that front wheel is so big. It's got so much inertia while it's rolling that even stock brakes struggle on a big, like, let's say like a 30-inch bagger. Even stock brakes suck on it because the wheel is so big and so heavy to slow it down. So if you can take that material out and you lower the rotating mass and how much it's spinning, it can boost your braking that too.
Like I've noticed even with like 21-inch wheels, my bike came factory with a 19. I've ridden on bikes with 21-inch wheels. You can notice a difference between a 21-inch wheel and a 19-inch wheel, like just as far as like the feel of the mass, with cornering or that. So then even, going back to like from a 19 to a 16, so then it's finding that happy medium between that we all look for between looks and performance.
Yeah.
Because like we can have like the super performing bike and it's the best of everything, it's going to be the fastest, but then we all still want it to look good.
Everybody wants to look cool. I don't care who you are and what you ride. You want to look cool.
So finding that happy medium of everything, between looking like badass and then performing great.
Yeah, because if you were 100% about performance, you wouldn't ride a Harley.
I'm so bad for these conversations. You don't need the brakes when you're crashing. Seriously. It's really hard for me to sit in on this. I might go grab a smoke. I don't know. But I get it, man. It depends on the kind of rider you are. You want to go fast. You want to do
So my biggest thing is like the question I have is like the amount of like braking that it takes to get to that point where a Lindahl versus a Galfer versus a Brembo, like is that anything that we're coming close to riding on the street? To where that one's going to be over another or better or worse or whatever the case may be.
I mean, it depends on the person.
I don't know.
And then how hard they push it. Yeah,
it's either on or off, or you have a little bit of
play.
Yeah, some brakes have more feel. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is like you hear people in the industry that have strong claims against certain braking companies or rotors or products, but like based on what? That's all I'm saying. It's like,
well, what really sometimes is like braking that like I hate. I've dealt with it before. I've dealt with the cars and trucks, between changing calipers. Is like sometimes people change calipers. They're like, this is the best caliper, it is, but they don't size the master cylinder right to it. Mm-hmm. I don't care like if it's the best caliper in the world. If it's not getting the right amount of fluid pushed to it, or it's getting too much fluid, either it's going to feel like a wall when you hit it, or it's going to feel mushy when you hit it. I don't know the exact science.
Well, and a lot of that is feel too. Yeah. Because every rider is different and how they want it to work is different. So some people want to hit the wall and then just control how it feels based on how hard they're pressing against the wall.
Yeah.
Some people want it to give. So the harder they squeeze it, the more it gives. And every rotor and every brake pad combination and every caliper and master cylinder caliper combination has a different feel.
Yeah.
And it's figuring out what you want and what you're comfortable with and how you like it to feel, because what works great for me may not be what you like, because you want to hit the wall and then that just be it.
So now brake pads or brake rotors and brake pads are now added to the list of comfort products like handlebars, seats, and helmets. Hey, bro, I like your rotors. Well, you got to try them all.
That's one thing I noticed, because I rode my stock rotor. The factory, Road Glide Special comes with those floating rotors.
Yeah.
I rode them around for the first year, about 17,000 miles, and they were warped by the end of the year. They were, every time I hit the front brakes pulsating, and then I ended up going with like the Galfers. And I will tell you, just like I did the Galfer rotors, Galfer pads, and completely different feel from the stock, but I haven't tried anything beyond that. That's just what I ran this year. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing about all of it is like, Mark does this a lot, I know, because we talk about it, is like trying to, like what you're doing with the suspension, trying to do this. That way you can have an honest opinion about this versus that.
Yeah.
And for you, and then it becomes the thing is, how do you describe the difference for you to somebody that doesn't even understand much about the suspension or the braking to begin with?
And then
because you get those questions right on Instagram.
Yeah,
you like, hey
all the
man,
time. And I answer people all the time.
Hey, so what can I look forward to with the inverted front end? And then you're like, okay, that's a loaded question.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then like with like clutches, like people some people like different clutch feel. Some people like it as soon as they let it off the bar, they want that clutch to start dragging. And then you get on the new ones.
Mark's a cable guy.
You get on the new ones with the hydraulic clutch, they're damn near a fucking like off-on switch, like at the end of the bar.
Yeah.
You know, and then I tried a recluse clutch I got from my buddy, and then so that was with the factory slave cylinder, you know, nothing changed, and then the recluse clutch, you know, since it has all thinner steels and then thinner frictions, like that pretty much released right off the bar. So it's like I didn't change any of the throw or anything, but just, you know, would change the clutch plates. And what you like, you know, is all depends on what you want.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing I dislike about hydraulics. I like the fact that you can run heavier springs and not necessarily, it's not heavier on your hand,
right?
Like a ton heavier. But the downside is there's no way to adjust that engagement and disengagement point unless you're swapping slave cylinders or
adjustable lever.
Yeah, I mean you can adjust the lever, but if you want it to be farther
aesthetically pleasing, whatever, man. It's the kind of rider you
but like let's say you want it to be farther out, you know, but
whatever you like. I want the opposite of that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
We like the exact
Same thing,
opposites.
just a little less.
I like my engagement and disengagement point to be all the way almost out at the end of the throw. So as soon as I grab the lever, it's disengaged.
Yeah.
And you know, I know Eric likes his like right off the bar. You know.
Well, also,
but
like,
again, that's
you gotta
the whole
like
thing. It's about knowing what you want and figuring out how you like it.
Yeah.
You know, there's not one right answer. If there was, we'd all ride the exact same bike with the exact same parts on it. But what's awesome about it is the fact that everybody likes a different style. And they like a different feel.
Also, by like, you know, when you get these like these loaded questions on social media about like products and parts and preference, it really can help if these individuals would just take the time to go out and experience the bike on longer trips. Because when you go on a 1,000-mile, you know, pound or 900-mile pound across the country, you start to notice that you want certain things out of your bike. And we all want it to perform great whenever we get to the twisties, but we're also equally riding this bike across country, and we need it to perform on the straight and narrow down the road.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
Again, it's that balancing act. Like, if we were 100% about performance, none of us would ride Harleys. None of us would do what we do. We'd have track bikes that are super light with no starter that you have to, you know, hook a starter up to.
Make an app for this shit.
All this,
have a body type markup. Fucking.
Yeah, it would be all wrong. just like feel good shit.
Starting point. You know what works and what doesn't.
Well, that's the other thing about all this shit is like when you're talking about performance bikes and riding and all this shit, it's like you got to realize this is also the same bike that you're riding around every day. So you can't go so far extreme that it makes your bike unrideable. That's the reason why there's something called street and race.
Yeah, well, and like just
or
basics.
stunt and your
tires.
Don't
for
limit your potential.
Tires, you know, a good performing tire for pushing it hard is not the tire you want when you're riding across the country.
Yeah.
And you could be hitting rain, you could be hitting sleet or snow or whatever.
What's your tire choice right now?
I mean, Commander 2s is a solid go-to. I've run those for years.
Yeah.
I love them. You know, certain sizes of wheels, I'll run Shinkos. You know, they're inexpensive, and they're sticky, super sticky.
Yeah.
But certain sizes have inherent problems in the fact that the tire is so soft that, you know, if you
can start a bike trip, you can start a bike trip now from here to go to Cali and back on a Shinko.
Yeah, brand new, and it'll be bald when you get back.
Yeah, you'll be showing tread.
But then, like certain size tires, also that tire's so soft that when you lean it, like if you're really, really pushing it in the turns, you lean hard, the sidewall can give.
Yeah.
And you can start, you can put your bike into a wobble, even though your chassis could be dialed and your suspension's dialed, just that tire sidewall flex could cause you to have a wobble. I'm trying out
I guess so.
the Metzler Cruise Tex right now. So the Metzler Cruise Tex.
I heard Metzler came out with a newer tire that's supposed to be comparable to the longevity of the Commander 2 and
That's the Cruise Tex. That's on the soft tail right now. So the Cruise Tex are on the soft tail. It's you know, I haven't tested the longevity claims, but as far as the sticky claims go,
It fucking ripped the
grips.
wheel up earlier.
Yeah,
so.
I mean it grips,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
problem.
So I wanted to try the Commander 3s now. that
Yeah,
they're out.
Commander 3s are supposed to
I didn't
drop
know those
any
came
day
out
now.
until you pointed those out at the IMS
Yeah,
show.
no, they
So-
just released at this. I think they
Oh, shit.
dropped
Yeah.
like January 1st.
So,
Yeah.
Mark, you remember I got the tire from you, the Commander 2? That's the one I'm still running.
but that's what I'm saying. Like
I
those
mean,
tires are
like you go look at it, you'll be pissed off that I'm riding on it because it's
Yeah,
cupped as
sure.
fuck. But 23,000 miles on it.
yeah.
And then,
I mean that's
like,
the
I've
thing.
been-
Like
One time?
Yeah.
I've been running
Rear?
Bridgestones. You know.
I don't do burnouts. I'm not a fucking fag.
I've been running.
shots fired.
What am I, 8?
All tires aside, are you, listen,
Okay.
are you here to fuck shit up or not? Make a choice. You know, we're breaking it down to this little shit.
My little bitch ass on tippy toeing trying to do a fucking burnout on a bagger that's 3 times my size. Yeah.
The pegs.
Huh?
Your feet down?
Yeah, okay. That's how good Instagram videos come about.
Yeah, you said you were trying what the
I tried Bridgestones. I'm on like Bridgestone G850 in the
That's
rear.
right, yeah.
It's a very limited size. Like they literally only have like 3 sizes on those, but it works. They have the factory size for like the special with the 18-inch rear. So I tried that. I was just like looking at tires one night and I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot.
So y'all know that the is it the inflictor wheel? Is that what was on like the Milwaukee? I mean the Rushmore bikes up until
The Enforcer?
Enforcer, right?
The Enforcer
So
2
you know
is
all the
18-inch in the rear now?
exactly. So all the 2020 models have 18-inch rear wheels.
yeah.
And
so sick.
looks sick. That wheel looks so good in an
Oh,
18
yeah,
in the
yeah.
rear.
Dude, a 19 front, 18 rear
kinda
combo
came a little when I saw
looks.
If
it looks dialed.
If
Yeah,
I went
for
out and
sure.
bought a brand new bike tomorrow, I would go get the fucking Tahitian teal Road Glide, like standard, and then with that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Oh, you wouldn't go get an Indian Challenger? What are you talking about, dude?
Hey, just so
I'm
you
sorry,
know, all
like,
our friendships are on the line right now. We'll fucking kick y'all out of my house today. That bullshit.
With the Indian, I sat on it today.
Yeah. Did you feel any?
Yeah, grab the saddlebag lid and just watch it dance. You know, just tap it and just watch it go.
Yeah, I mean the saddlebag
The bike's
lid,
cheap, man.
The,
Dude, it
the
feels
fucking
cheap as
glove
fuck.
box. It has like the little push to click open glove box shit. Like how many? I've seen that break on cars so many
Yeah.
times, and a car doesn't have anywhere near the vibration or the stress that a fairing is on a motorcycle.
I'm gonna say it right here, even
know?
though like, fuck it. All the people that are pushing these Indians right now are being paid to, straight up.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's a fact.
Yeah. I
wish-
And the
I
people
wish
that
when
are
they were-
pushing it
they
that
were-
aren't getting paid are trying to get paid. That's why they're pushing it.
I wish when they were
Maybe
paid,
FXR
they
mic
maybe
might
gave
not
a little
be.
bit better feedback.
Yeah.
Because like just walking up and then you're like, oh, check out this bag, you know, with the automatic locks, and you go to grab the handle and it's just dancing around. I'm like, you roll down the road.
Look at the
and
hand
just listen to
controls.
it.
They look like fucking Kawasaki 500s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
And then,
terrible.
like, even though I love Matt up there at Spada Ford Choppers,
yeah.
I knew it was going to be a monstrosity of a handlebar setup to make that T-bar thing work.
It's not a T-bar. It's a window bar. That's not a T-bar.
There you go. There you
know
go.
what
That's
I mean?
it. That's it.
That's a window
Like
bar.
at least they're trying something up there.
No, for sure.
You know,
And
with
I
that.
appreciate the
Which-
innovation, but
Which I sat on it with the stock bars, and I probably could never run those like down the road. But what do you do with the screen hanging where it is? You know?
Yeah, like I said,
Like, it's
that's
nice,
what
like-
was my argument with it from the beginning. It's like, you know, I don't know why I took it so personally, but basically, like, everybody was like posting things about this is a new performance bagger because it has 3 items that we put on performance baggers, right? Radial brakes, inverted front end, and it had a lot of horsepower.
Yep.
That's it. Everything else was cheap. It looked fucking like, it looked Japanese. It looked overdone. It didn't look like something that had
you
any
mean it
kind
looks
of.
like the same exact front end they had on Victories? What?
Yeah.
You mean Polaris is reusing parts they still had in stock left over from their Victory days?
that was
No, that would never happen.
That was the thing with like
But then-
victories back in the day I didn't like was just like things felt cheap and open like to the elements, you know, like you look where the master cylinder was or like how linkage was and everything, and it was just like something can come up and just break that off, and then
Yeah.
you're sitting on the side of the road.
Yeah, it's well, the other thing is like, if it's not proven to this point today by IMS showing, seeing how big the Indian booth is, it's like they spent so much money getting certain people to influence the market on social media with these bikes being great. Unfortunately, they didn't make the best bike.
Right.
There's a million bikes that are faster than baggers. I mean, the BMW is way faster. I'm sure every fucking metric bike on the market is faster in the comparable market to the Harley. Bottom line is, all the dudes out there saying like, I want a fucking Indian because they're the better thing. It's like, no, you just are the guy that chose Reeboks over Nikes. That's it. You want to do things different.
I don't get that one. That one went right over my head. I'm not.
All right. Well, in the '90s, you rode Nikes.
Wait, you guys don't wear dad shoes? What, Skechers and New Balances? What?
Mark's up here. Mark's got the Air Dads on.
I thought there's only a white New Balance.
Yeah. What else? What other shoes out there? You know.
Long, 12 wide.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like I just feel like everybody that this jumping on that bandwagon is the same dudes in 2011 and 12. They were like, you know what? I'm going to go with fucking, what was the other bike? Victory, because, everybody's doing a Harley and, I just want to be different. I'm like, no, you want to make a bad financial decision is what you want to do. You want to buy a bike that's not going to be worth shit and then went out of business. You know what's going to happen with Indian? They're making these bikes. It's cool for them. Like the FTR was cool, but guess what? Nobody's fucking buying them. They're still not, where are all the Indians at? I'm still seeing more Softails on the road than I'm seeing these Indians that are cheaper, perform better, and do more, but there's still more Softails on the road.
Well, and a huge portion of that is not something they can control, which is the aftermarket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody wants to buy I don't care. I mean, I can't say nobody, but most people in the world don't want to buy something and then leave it stock. They want to make it their own. They want to personalize it. And that's what's fun about doing a performance Harley is kind of twofold. Number one, you're taking something that shouldn't perform well, and you're making it perform well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're taking something that shouldn't be fast and shouldn't handle corners well, and you're going to make it handle well. And then on top of that, you're also making it your own.
Yeah.
It's not, anybody, I'm not going to say anybody, but it doesn't take a lot to be able to go write a check and buy something.
Yeah.
But to have the forethought, even if you're not doing the building, but to pay someone and use their expertise and all these things to build a bike, and not just have the exact same bike that there are 25,000 of produced for 2020. That's fun. You don't want to roll into a parking lot and see 20 of the exact same bike. You want to stand out.
What threw me off was not so much that I am open to the fact that Indian has a bike that's comparable and is
I think it's
option.
great. I'm hoping what it does is push Harley to
and that's
step
for
their
sure.
game up.
But I guess the thing that bothered me was, and like I said, I got trolled basically is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
I know
we
that
were talking about it behind your back.
It's like I didn't like the fact that everybody felt like because this had this that what I am doing now or what I already have is not good enough.
Yeah.
Why would you stay with the Harley when Indian has this? So I'm like, well, Indian's probably going to go out of business another 5 years because it's not a passion-driven company, which you could argue that with Harley as well, but I don't think they're going to be here for another 5 or 10 years tops.
Well, it's not that it's not a passion-built company. It's that they've gone in and out of business so many times, and the company has changed hands so many times that they don't have there's people that are cult followers for the old Indians.
And nobody wants that ugly fender shit for this new days.
But,
was it 99 when they came out with they tried to do the swoop again?
Yeah.
It's like, let it be.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what
when I say old Indians, I mean the 12s.
If you look at
early 1900s.
Early 1900 Indians.
Those, right?
Those bikes are dope. But you don't see anybody like, dude, my 1998 Indian is amazing, or my 2004 Indian is incredible.
When that show, remember that show that came out, the Harley and the Davidsons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I watched that and I'm looking at the last bike they built, which was the of the actual that was the knucklehead, and it had an FL fender. That fender is still, it's a fender, right? So that's probably the same as what was on a horse and carriage back in the day too. But that fender is still a sick looking fender, not 100, 75 years later.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at an FL, I was just talking with Curtis today because he makes that. I was like, dude, Are you thought about doing an FL fender in the carbon? Because that's my shit. Like, I feel like FL fenders is like the look that I like with my Harley. You know, it has a little bit of this heritage, but then it has this feel to it that's like gangster as fuck that I love.
Well,
you know?
and here's the other thing too. An FL fender, like you said, does something.
Yeah.
It prevents throwing shit all into the front of your bike.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're talking about looks or even just, I mean, you can clog up your oil cooler because your oil cooler is now mounted right in the center of that bike. You know, if you're throwing mud up off the road or grit or whatever, you can clog an oil cooler. I mean, you know, it serves a
like
purpose.
he said, you could fucking puncture it with rocks. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen it.
I'm surprised I never have.
I mean, it's probably not common, but there is a function behind it too. It's not just purely aesthetic.
Well, I've just gone like 60 miles an hour down dirt roads, so I'm really surprised I never have, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, if they did like an FL style fender, like it would be sweet to see them actually just scale it down. Like I was saying earlier to you when we were eating lunch, you know, with FL fender, like you have that space with a 19-inch wheel. I just like it. And then you put a 21 on it and it fills that FL fender perfect. So like almost maybe just scale it down just a touch, just so it fits a 19-inch wheel perfect.
Yeah.
You know, like it's going to take some finesse. It's not just going to be like, hey, we're going to plug mold this stock fender and we're going to, you know, make it out of fiberglass or carbon, you know, so it's lighter than the steel.
Making something like, smaller than is out. It's easier to make something bigger, right? You'd almost have to start from scratch
so like it's going to take something to make it happen, but I think it'd be worth the time if that's something that's a route that we're going to go.
You know, when I built the first performance bagger that I did, right? And I was like,
performance.
Yeah. Air quotes.
Yeah.
Single disc performance.
All the way up. You guys were probably doing some other shit back then.
I was on a single disc road king, but I didn't call it a performance road
not
king.
Performance.
Well, that's because I didn't know what I was doing. But no, I did the 21 and I remember telling you about it, and it's like that bike was like the look that I fell in love with the look of performance bikes, right? I'm a visual person.
Yeah.
So I fell in love with the looks, but then it wasn't till honestly maybe the camp out, maybe the first one last year where you came for the first time and all this and then just doing riding and stuff and then like falling in love with the idea of actually learning how to ride bikes the way like you guys do.
Yeah.
So that changed the way I wanted to build my bike, though.
But it was weird because, like, I'll give credit where it's due. So my buddy Tyler, he's into FXRs. Like he's got a '87 FXR, and I remember when I had my Road King, which had like gold.
What the fuck is he doing? Opening the garage?
He had old FXR, and I had my Road King with like a gold 23-inch wheel, air ride.
You were so black.
And then he's riding it, and he'd show me FXRs with like the fairing.
Really? Fucking Eric.
Is he gonna do a burnout?
He's gonna do a burnout. Watch.
He'd show me.
And there's the line that he crossed. Right?
I don't know if that's going to be edited out. Or
No, it wasn't gonna be edited out.
At least you just turned it down.
Yeah, I turned it down a little bit.
Shop is smoked out.
Nice.
So
Burnouts are for fags.
My buddy had an FXR, and then he'd show me like club style FXRs with like the fairings and the lowers and everything, and I just wasn't digging it at the time. Like it wasn't the style that I wanted. And then I started riding that Road King like really aggressively, and then eventually like it started appealing to me. And then I'm like, wow.
Oh, that's what I tire now, bro.
It's all about the smell, the taste, the touch.
I feel like I'm at fucking Yellow Belly now.
Like I saw it on YouTube. Did you see it in person?
Nice.
Smells good. Woo, that shit.
Breaking in the shop.
I know. I'm.
There's
Dude,
literally
you
smoke
couldn't see
rolling
the
in the
door
room.
open when I walked
Wow.
down there. It was that much smoke built
Can't
up.
fucking breathe. I'm getting down.
Oh,
Hey, I got a vent fan over there that I set up.
Smells good in here now.
Yeah, it does smell a little biker.
It's so much better for a podcast.
we're having a good time tonight.
Fuck yeah, I didn't even get started yet. So where are we going? I can't fucking wait. I can't fucking wait.
So you were, what were you saying about like the club style FXR shit?
I was gonna say like that highly influenced me as far as like what I did with the Road Glide, but I didn't even like know it when it came about.
Yeah.
It was like I was trying to drive a Road King or ride a Road King like really aggressively, and then next thing I know, I'm like, well, I want taller suspension, and then I was like, you know, I just want the controls to be right, because like when I started out, I did like the extended seat that set me back. I did the Tall Boy Cycles floorboard relocation that moves them 2 inches forward, but it drops them down. Next thing you know, like I have taller suspension, but I'm dragging the floorboard mounts. So I'm like, well, this ain't what I want. So then I actually moved the floorboards back to the stock position, you know, being a bigger guy. And I'm like, wow, I feel like I have that much more control.
Ow. That's what it looks like.
That's pretty
So
dope.
much better in person though.
I wish you guys were here right now.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
like,
that was when I started lifting my bikes. I took my Road Glide. It was in a fucking parking lot. And I used to, you know, I bought the bike. I didn't mess with it a ton, and I would hang.
Vacuuming the fucking tire smoke.
We're sorry for all this extra noise, but it's hilarious.
I would always point my toes off the edge because you know, scraping's kind of cool a little bit, but you really don't want to, and so I would try and drag my toe. I would use it as like a feeler gauge for how close I was. Well, I was taking a turn through a parking lot and I caught a bump, and because my feet were off pointing to the side, it like sucked my foot, and I literally ran over my own foot with the fucking back tire.
Drag your heels.
And
Yeah,
so that
you
was
sent
why-
me that, you know, because you watched my little video I did when I went to Giddy Up.
Yeah.
And you said, hey, man, you know, you shouldn't stick your toe out like that because you could catch it.
Yeah.
Because I was doing that
you're like,
hardcore.
oh, I'm good. I'm like, it's just still a point to like.
I
not
stopped
get
doing it
used
after
to
that.
it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like either
It was-
keep your feet straight or maybe even just kick your heels out a little bit. You kick your heels for feelers.
Yeah, exactly. And that was when I learned. I was like, fuck this lowered shit. Because when I bought the bike, it already had like 11-inch shocks in the back, and I thought it was, you know, this was like, I don't know, when did I get it? Yeah, like 2011 or something like that. And you know, I thought the lowered bikes were cool.
Right.
And as soon as, I mean, that was like literally a month after I bought the bike. I was like, nope, we're done with this. We're putting taller suspension. I can't do this. I don't want to be dragging anything.
Have you seen the old pictures of Mark? Like the old, like before
Like
Mark,
old Mark-
before
Mark-
Mark was Mark that we know Mark to be.
Mark Bike or Mark?
No, like Mark.
I've seen pictures of him without a beard, and I'm like, whoa.
Well, that not like the bikes they used to ride. It's like no, Mark.
Oh man, we had.
Not everybody starts out in exactly where you're
Yeah.
at. You know, it's like,
But that's what matters to me though. That's
Right.
what I think matters when it comes to people that have opinions about all these type of bikes is the
Right.
fact that you've had different bikes to compare and contrast
Right.
and have an opinion about why this feels better than what you did and vice versa and blah blah blah.
yeah, it's like, you know, if somebody like a big wheel bagger or something like that, and then they're talking shit on it, and they used to own one. Well, if they decided they didn't like it, you
Yeah.
know, they decided they want to go a different route. Like, we don't all make 100% perfect decisions right from
No.
the get-go.
Yeah, but at the same time,
You
like
know,
it might have
but-
been the perfect decision for the time
Yeah,
of
ain't
what they
nothing
were
wrong with
doing
that.
on motorcycles.
Yeah, no, for sure. What
Yeah.
you're doing on a motorcycle dictates how you build your motorcycle,
Or the
110%.
people you surround yourself and how
I mean,
they ride and how
and that's
what they
part of
do.
what you're doing. Though. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
what you do on your bike and what your friends are doing, what y'all are doing together.
All this beer was like
100
my personal stash, by the way. So
We got you.
I'll replace it.
it's all good.
It
I'll fuck with you.
100% dictates how you build a bike.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're only riding with guys that their idea of taking a turn fast is, you know, 30 miles an hour or something like that, and they're, you know, they don't want to lean heavy and they want to turn through a turn instead of lean through a turn,
Yeah.
then that's going to dictate how you build. Or if they just want to go, you know, 65 miles an hour all day long and that's as fast as they want to go, you're going to build a different type of bike than if you're riding with
So
you know,
one of my biggest questions, and this is an honest question that I'm wondering, is like, what is more comfortable for cross country riding? Is it the grandpa'd out backrest, leaned back, bars up in the air, or is it more of the position that we're in now?
I was going to say that's completely up to how your body type is.
Yeah,
100%.
You know, you have some people like they sit down in a chair, they lean back. You have other people that sit down in a chair, they get, you know, nice square shoulders and they sit up straight. You know, it depends on your body type where you're at. Like I've had like a Lucky Dave seat on my bike, you know, not the super touring, you know, type of seat, but I'm like, it's comfortable. I got a bony ass. It fits me good, you know.
You got a bony ass.
I got a Hank Hill ass. Like there's fucking nothing.
6'4", 2-inch crack. And I'm 6'3", and I ride with my feet on the back pegs 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Why? How do you do that?" It's comfortable to me. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, your knees bend different, and then it's like sometimes on road trips I'll set my bike up different. You know, I have there's just a 12 by 12 by 24 duffel bag. I'll make sure that thing is packed full, and then I have my passenger backrest like on, and then the actual backrest pad I shove in between the bungee cords I use to hold that bag on, and it's perfect. I can just sit there and like I'm pretty straight up, you know, my floorboards are perfect, and then but there's some other people that are like, oh, I want a little lean back, you know, and some people want a little bit of more pull back to their bars. Some of them want like a little bit you know, angle with their wrists.
So again, it boils down to there's no right answer.
Yeah,
there's no one formula.
It's all creature of comfort type.
You're gonna figure out what you like and what you don't like.
Well, see, like a lot of people are scared of mid controls because they think mid controls is like they think that, because me in my head, like he just said, when I had my floorboards, I rode with my feet on the back pegs more than ever. But now that I have mid controls, I still do the back pegs a lot, but it's less than I used to.
It's just a change position at that point.
Yeah, because it's like that Road King I actually had like Accutronics forward controls. I took the floorboards off. They were like
horrible.
The 9-inch extended forward controls.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it goes 9-inch extended from the front of the board. But at the time, with how my riding style was, I was like, I want my legs stretched out.
Trying to slide into home every time you touch that.
Dude, as if you can tell from previous podcasts, I've made horrible bike decisions. I've had Road Kings there.
You guys ready to party or what?
It's 9/11.
Let's do it.
Well, I told everybody to be here at 9:30, so we're just running this till it's.
I dig it.
Run it to the wall.
You're so impatient. Like, do you have ADD?
Me or you? Fucking in that instant button.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I just
like the way I was riding, you know, that position felt good. But then I hop on Mark's bike today with the mid controls, and I'm like, wow, this feels great. Like,
yeah. It's all about testing and figuring out what you like. Again, there's no one answer for everybody, because like you said, someone could have a bad knee or a bad hip or they're, you know, whatever. And so that position may not be as comfortable for them. And so what works for me or you or whoever, or Justin or Jace may not work for that person.
Right.
And it sucks that you can't know right out the gate what you want. You will have to spend money, you know, unless you're lucky and you nail it right off the get, you'll have to spend money testing different things. But you know, that's how you figure out what you like.
Making me awkward, dude.
That's like it's like a lot of times with my bike, you know, I talk to somebody, they're like, hey, I just bought a Road Glide, and they're asking me questions about T-bars or something like that on it. I'm like, throw a leg over the fucking bike. Feel it out. I was like, I have this seat. This is the size bar I have. This is the bar I have. If you like it, you like it. If
What
not,
size?
you have something to build off.
What size bars do you run?
I run a 9-inch riser with the fly. I think they're 31 wide. The fly bars. They're forbidden motorcycle risers.
So you're basically looking at a 12-inch bar tops.
11.
Yeah, so it's probably like 11-inch.
Dude, I don't. Okay, so I get that question a lot. Size bars, and I tell everybody 14 or fuck off, right? Because that's me. No. I can't. I like 14-inch bars. It's my perfect height.
Like, because you know they're like, oh,
No,
I'm a taller guy, so they're like, you need tall bars.
And they all. And this is my thing. Is like for some reason every time someone asks me that, and I tell them I run 14s, and that's what I like, the 13 to 14 range.
Yep.
Right. And I it's perfect. I love it. It's the most comfortable place. Yes, I know that if you go a little bit lower, you get a little more control, get a little bit more feel of the bike.
Right.
But for the traveling aspect, like we said, the give and take of it, I like the 14 for just the comfort.
Yeah.
And
it's
everybody,
that whole world of finding
everybody
the best
that
of both worlds.
that asks me that doesn't go 14, they go 12s. They always like 80% of the time hit me back and go, I fucked up. I should have got higher bars. I don't like this small stuff.
Because like when I first started out, I ran a pullback plate on mine. I ran a
So I don't know about sound, but smell, it fails. You got to do something about the smell. I don't like the smell at all. I smelt it. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
It smells like rubber.
So the geometry with the bikes from like a Dyna to a touring bike, the touring bike would have a higher bar for the geometry. So if
Yeah.
I ran 10s on a Dyna, I'd want 12s at least on the Street Glide.
Yeah.
Okay. Just confirming.
Are you asking? Because I always thought you were confirming.
No, I was asking. No, I don't know
that's
shit.
like when on Dynas and Softails, I usually run like a 10 to a 12, and on baggers, I like a 12 to a 14.
So
somewhere
Mark,
in that range.
on your Softail, what's your bar setup that you run on that? Because that is extremely comfortable, and it's a pullback on the Softail.
Yeah, so that's just. I'd have to look. I think it's like an 8.5 pullback riser.
I think it said thrashing.
The bar is a thrashing.
Yep.
It's a thrashing. That's a high. No, you're right. That's a 6.5 inch pullback riser with a thrashing high bend. Usually, my bar of choice is the Sportster, like the stock Sportster, like sport bar from back in the day. But they don't make one with throttle by wire, and I like supporting Lance because he's been nothing but cool to me ever since I've talked to him for the first time. So I was like, I want to run this bar.
You, bro?
No, like I was riding that bike all day. Like I have zero complaints about like bar height and everything. Like I was sitting on it because me and you are pretty same in stature and everything.
Yeah, so I was like wanting y'all to come to test the floor out here.
Between us, there's a little
No,
even though like when Steve walks around, I feel it.
Do you?
fat man problems.
But yeah, it's all about where you're comfortable with, because like you said, what's comfortable for you. We're lucky that you like the exact same thing I do, but there's guys that are my size that can't stand bars that are on my bikes because they prefer their hands in a different position or whatever. And, it can be dictated by looks too. Some people they want a taller bar because of how it looks,
I like the look. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean.
What size are you running?
My Road Glide has 10-inch risers, 2-inch bars.
So
your XR is 8.5-inch risers, 5.5-inch bars.
Damn, got some
I'm going
mini
full
apes.
Dyna Bro on this motherfucker.
That FXR is gonna be so sick. We'll wait for the next podcast for that one.
FXR.
See, I didn't. Wait. I didn't do it. Jace did. I took the key out of my bike before I came in to do a podcast.
I got the soft tail.
I had to throw the joust in there. I had to throw the joust in there.
Yeah.
I have the soft tail key too.
What, no fun?
Dude,
I don't know. There might be a key in that fast
I left
life
my
Road
key and
Glide.
everything in the Road Glide when we went up to the show. Somebody could just walked up and turned my shit on.
Oh yeah.
Fuck with me. Nah.
He's gonna go grab your.
I don't have much tire left, sir.
Challenge accepted.
1,000 miles on that tire.
Hey, at least make it back to square.
Yeah. Knock off the cups.
Dude, so one of the first times I met that guy Tyler, Tall Boy T in Phoenix. He was riding.
That
with,
dude can fucking ride, dude.
Dude,
he's
fucking A.
He made me so
fuck
mad
is here?
when he first fucking started. The first time I rode with him, because he came in and he had like a stock bike with shitty fucking shotgun
fuck up.
pipes. And
We're being
fucking,
professionals in our studio.
square, window bars and all this shit, and he's sitting there fucking dragging fender down the fucking road, and I've got 25, 30 fucking grand into my Road Glide, and I can barely do a fucking power wheelie. You know? And that's when I learned it was all about skill. It has nothing to do with your bike, your power, your setup. There's things that make it easier and simpler, but as far as being able to physically do it, it's all skill. But I remember one time I'm seeing him, we're at my buddy Ryan Cruzy's shop back before he moved, and fucking Tyler's like, I've been doing too many circle drifts to the left, so he just leans his bike all the way to the right and just roasts the tire to try and make it back round again. It was hilarious.
Bullshit.
What the hell? Dude, you can hear him just like
Is the background noise that prominent?
Yeah, dude. Like I just put a mic downstairs and let him fucking do his own thing.
Justin, go talk to him.
Apparently, my studio is fucked. It doesn't work good enough. No. But no, I don't know. It'd be a lot of people ask questions and stuff, and it gets really hard to navigate the idea.
It's hard to nail down like a perfect answer.
Send it in a text message or a word typed out form, because a lot of it is a very detailed, like it's a very long drawn out thing. Like it's not this is the best. It's like, okay, well, what kind of riding do you do? How's your circulation? How are your shoulders? How are your wrists? Like
that's a big thing for me.
And we try to be the best ambassador of the parts, that you want to put on there, but it's so hard to for how many variables there can be.
Exactly. I mean, just like there's not one shoe size, there's not one type of shoe, there's not one type of pants, there's not one type of bar that's going to be perfect, or seat or suspension or wheel or tire. You know, it's all depends on the person.
Yeah.
But I agree, and I know that's how it is. It's just that like everybody else out there that's getting into this, they're trying to be conscientious with their purchases and shit like that, and they want to try to okay, which bar do I buy? Which tire? Which seat? And they do all these. We're all accustomed now to go to reviews and fucking Dynaholics and whatever else to get our information based on everybody else's experiences. Mm-hmm. But the problem is it is something you have to experience for yourself, and you have to take a gamble.
And I will tell you, I did not go 100% on how I did my whole setup. I have bought multiple seats. Yeah. I have changed up some stuff with the bars. I've four. And then even with the even with suspension, I did it, and then I went through and I had the inverted front end, and I sent it back to Kevin at Big Bear, and I was like, I want the extensions. I want to make this bike higher, which she had the provisions to do it with the inverted front end to make the bike higher. And it came back, and I'm like, all right, I like that better. I had the best suspension, but then it was the height wasn't quite where I wanted it, so then we fixed that. I didn't nail everything 100%, but the way my bike sat, it was fucking great.
Yeah, nobody ever comes out of the box and just their first try, unless you've built multiple bikes and you have experience. The first time you build something, you're never gonna be like, oh, nailed everything, perfect, done. And half the fun half the fun is trying different stuff, even if it works. Just like I had the TBR exhaust. It didn't have really any complaints about it, but I was like, you know what? I want to try something different just to see, because at the time I'd only rode TBR and Bassani exhaust on Milwaukee 8s, and I hadn't had anybody want to try that S&S exhaust. So I was like, you know what?
How do you like that? Just real quick.
I mean, he's rode it more than I have, honestly, straight up.
He's rode next to it more than I have.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes power in a different spot on the dyno. So just comparing the dyno charts, it doesn't make as much top end power as the TBR did, mid-range. But it makes more of the mid-range power, at least at wide open throttle, but I mean, it has a completely different sound. It has a completely different look, and so
it's got a rumble to it.
Yeah,
it looks good.
It sounds fucking mean,
and it's nice to do something a little different.
Exactly.
I'm bad about that too. I look at the same thing. I'm like, oh shit, I like that. I have Fab 28 on the Road Glide, and I was filling the thing. I didn't know what the fuck I was looking for. And then just like all the M8s, I see TBRs. Yeah, TBR.
That's a financial decision.
Well, it's a financial, and it's also a style. There's nothing else.
TBRs?
Yeah, TBRs are not expensive.
TBR is probably the cheapest
they're
pipe
the cheapest
you can get.
pipe. Oh. One of the cheapest
I think
pipes.
Fab 28
that performs well. Yeah, no, Fab 28 is not cheap. They're not known for being the most cost-effective.
I think they're like $1 per the weld. Each weld is $1.
Each bead is $1. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, about it sounds
No, it does, and it sounds good, and it made decent power when we tuned it. You know what I mean? But it's about that whole thing of trying different things and not just being pigeonholed into this. And the whole reason TBRs are big on the newer Milwaukee 8 baggers is because for that style pipe, a shorty pipe that's stainless or black.
And with the kick out.
Yeah,
that
nobody
was under the
made
bag.
something. I mean, Bassani had the shorter Road Rage 3, but it dumped center bag. Now they have this new pipe they're coming out with that dumps in front of the bag. So they actually have a legitimate shorty, not just we shortened it up a little bit. No, this is a short exhaust,
Right.
and once more companies start building pipes like that, then I think it'll, HPI came out with theirs, and
I'm excited to try that out just because the TBR has a really short rear runner.
Yeah.
Than HPI actually.
And it's a
went
different
out.
look, which I appreciate. I like the little different.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
hard.
I hate pulling up and everybody has the same shit.
It's hard to be different in a world that's just.
I would love to try one of those HPI pipes on my Road Glide.
But the way their rear head pipe, and they added the extra rear head pipe to get them so they're more equal length from front to back.
Yeah.
That's
You know what
why
the hard part is for a lot of exhaust people right now in the
it's
back?
California.
Yeah, that.
True.
But a lot of people are going mid controls, and that it's hard for people to design exhaust systems that also
You
can
almost have
clear.
to have two. You have to have one for a stock and one
It's
for
like
something.
know,
which
way
is a nightmare
clear.
for
It's a complete
manufacturing.
nightmare for
Yeah.
Because
manufacturing.
I know with HPI,
Because CHD, right?
Who?
Calgary Harley Davidson.
Yeah, so they came out with a pipe that has the kind of the headers that would create power. I don't know their numbers, but it has the look, but it also has the style of a pipe that I love. But it where their rear cylinder head pipe comes, it would totally hit the mid controls.
Yeah, because then Matt from Spad 4 Choppers, he was building his Road Glide. He was redoing it with some mid controls. He ended up calling up Jimmy at HPI. He's like, "Hey, I got mid controls. I don't know what conversation they went through. Fucking, he had him a pipe, within a week or two.
Yeah, I mean-
that worked with the mid controls. Fucking,
Goddamn
how
children,
loud
man.
was that? Oh, he's swinging the mic around.
I just wanted to thank you again for having me out here. I love you guys. Appreciate you. Absolutely not.
He's trying to end the podcast. All right, we're going to start ending this. So we got to go. This new year, new us too, right? So
Yeah.
what are we doing New Year this year? Let's go through that, and then we'll wrap this up.
I'm trying my own little business adventure, see if that works out between the side covers and, maybe prototyping a couple parts, between testing some parts for some people. That's still in the works. And then I want to do my own camp out. I want to do Laconia for sure. And then I don't know what else is beyond that. Because anything beyond
I've
July,
been
I'm
telling
not gonna go that far.
a lot of people I meet, I think that you're 100% one of the best ambassadors for the performance bagger world, your area,
Yeah.
100%.
Because,
in general. So literally, I would not be here if he would Steve got a hold of me and said, "Hey, look at Fast Live," and then I ended up at the camp out.
Yeah.
And then this is how we ended up here, which
Yeah.
is fucking rad.
Yeah.
And then I've traveled so much since then, so it's fucking cool.
That's what we're all about. We're all about fucking slaying some miles, pushing our bikes, trying some new shit, even with my bike,
And
I
not
had
drinking
the
White Claw.
inverted front end.
No.
I just want to try something
I'm
different.
with you on that.
Yeah.
I just want to try something different just because, for my own mind.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the best?
Well,
move? I don't know. I'm just trying something.
I think I texted you not so long ago about, because I wholeheartedly believe that you are a very great ambassador for everything that's going on right now.
I try to be. And
Yeah,
it's
and
a
you
lot
are.
of work.
It is a lot of work.
I see what you do in your whole podcast and everything. The amount of people's questions I answer.
Yeah.
And
Full-time
I don't
job.
have a business behind this.
Yeah, there's no financial
I
gain.
answer people's questions and how I run my stuff because of passion.
Yeah.
I am at these events because
So
of passion.
when you start making money, it will not be a passion anymore. You'll hate it.
Such a fact.
I'm
Yeah.
all right, we're back to
But no, I just, I talk to, when I do talk to people, I bring your name up a lot because I want people to understand what I see in what you do is that brand ambassadoring and being an influence in our industry these days is not just about having social media. Social media is shit.
Right.
It's about what you do, right?
My
it's
social
about
media is pretty sweet though.
Yeah. Well, it's about what you do. It's about the way you bring people together.
Yeah.
It's about the way you ride your bike and the way that you have an opinion that you earned.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. It's like we're on social media. Everybody's got an opinion, right? But you earned everything you get to say in every platform
Well, the
you
other
do
thing
it
is
on.
it's also not a paid opinion.
Right.
Because some people
Yeah.
earn opinions, they earn it through a paycheck.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Very hard.
And
What do you mean? The
it's
Challenger is the best bike out.
and then it's so fucking like humbling when you guys like, you say something like that, like,
Yeah.
you don't have a paid opinion, it's just, you go out there and I'm here. Like, why the fuck am I, in Dallas? I'm like, well, I just want to hang out with some homies.
Well, because you're also you're investing in it. You're
Yeah.
investing in all these friends that you're creating, and that's, to me, that is like, without being super fucking gay here. I know we went pretty gay last time on the New Year New Us, but the thing is that like that's goddamn
just
Jewel.
a Jewel again. It's not even a fucking gibber.
It is like I'm glad that I brought you on the first time of the podcast. I'm glad that
I'm glad you had me,
dude, you became who you are because you did what you did. You rode your fucking bike and just did cool shit. And I think that like as far as people can get to know who Steve Chamberlain is, I'm fucking down. Anytime you win, I'm fucking stoked for you, bro.
Hell yeah.
Seriously.
We're all in this fucking game together, and with the best people in the industry most of the time. So
Most of the time.
I fucking love it. It's like I haven't fucking really met a bad person that I,
Yeah.
hate in the industry. And if I do, I just don't fucking talk to them.
Yeah.
It is what
Oh,
it
well.
is. And like you go on your own little adventure. I ain't fucking here to talk shit. I'm just here fucking good vibes and good times.
Exactly. There's no point to put out negative anything. You know what I mean? Again, not everything is for everyone. There's no point to talk
Right.
shit. Maybe that guy handles his business and there's people who like to deal with it that way or makes the part and they like it that way. It doesn't serve any purpose to bash people or talk shit online.
Right.
It doesn't do any good. You're not going to solve any problems. You're not going to change anybody's mind.
No.
The only way I feel like talking shit is worth it is when people fuck each other over on money. If you're gonna fuck somebody over on money, fuck that shit.
But you could cross the line. I'm gonna cross the line a couple times. I'm not gonna lie. I want to feel this shit out. I wanna know where we really.
Are you
stand.
sure this is the line right here? Let me step over one more time just to make sure.
Marco is like that. He's like, bro, I could help you out. We'll turn the wrench. I'm like, yeah, fuck that. Let's get to know each other first. We got plenty of time. The bikes aren't going anywhere. Let me know.
Yeah, that is a good point though, man. Like all these friendships, man, like
I wouldn't trade this shit for the world.
these bikes, man, like they're great vessels for the experiences that we're experiencing in life.
Right.
But realistically, like I'll remember my bikes and my years, but those helmets right there, that's fucking, those are the years that I spent with my friends and on the road doing things with bikes, man.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, the bike is nothing. It's the people for sure.
yeah.
Well, the bike's what it is. It's weird because it's something you do by yourself, but you do it by yourself with other people, and it's
sure.
and even if you're riding right next to the guy, you have two different perspectives of what happened and two different points of view, and it's an interesting thing because there's not a lot of things you do that. You do it by yourself. It's 100% you, but you get to include other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best thing in the world. It's why we do what we do. And it's why we,
Yeah.
Like, I was into motorcycles when I was like 18, 19 years old. I got out of it for many years, and then I ended up coming back on a Road King, and then now I'm on my Road Glide. Like every fucking vacation I want to do, I want it motorcycle related.
Yeah.
I either want to go see friends that I met on motorcycles that are into motorcycles, or I want to go to this motorcycle event. Like
To make new friends.
Yeah, like,
for sure.
Talk to people and just fucking meet. Like I met new people I've never met on, I talked to on Instagram today,
Yeah.
just at the Dallas IMS show and everything. So like, I just love what motorcycles brings, with that whole situation.
But you also got to invest into it as well. You can't and that's one thing. What I'm trying to say about you is that you invest in this and you make yourself available to experience things and meet people, and that helps cultivate it. Because a lot of people might listen to this and go like, "Well, I like motorcycles too. I'm going to go ride," but you're you're putting yourself in a position like you rode that 1,000 miles alone that time.
Yeah.
Same thing with Justin when you jumped on the bike and you went to his camp out, like
Literally meeting dudes off the internet and camping with them.
it's
Doing exactly what your parents told you not to do. You know?
So my wife was like, so you met this guy on the internet and you're riding 1,000 miles by yourself?
Yeah, babe, we're best friends. Lay off.
Free bike parts, okay? Come on.
And it's like that shit when you got to explain it to
I
somebody.
literally talk to them more than I talk to my wife throughout the day.
They don't even fucking understand.
Yeah.
You know, it's like these experiences just come out and it's like you got to be open to a shit. But like some of my best friends like fucking met this year. You know, I talk to every fucking day because they have a motorcycle, you know, addiction like I do and everything, you know, and they invest in it like I do. You know, so
it makes it hard to have friends that aren't into bikes. Like if,
Right.
if we're having a conversation, if
like
we're not
Fight Club, right?
if we're not talking about bikes, I bring next to nothing to the conversation.
it's like, you know, I'll go to
I
the
hate
bar.
going to normal parties.
Yeah. Well, how's your 401k performing there, buddy? What did you invest? What's your return on your stock investments?
So you like motorcycles?
So I put every dollar I made into my motorcycles. That's how my investments are going. You know.
Rekindle this friendship. Reminding you why we're friends.
Oh yeah, you know, fucking. I don't even know where the fuck I'm going. Jace laughed. He was on a topic.
Again.
It still smells like shit in here.
Yeah, it smells
That's what
fucking
happens.
great.
But I mean, that's the whole fun part about this is it's if you do it, even like someone that you don't know, you've never met, but they do the same, they ride their bike across the country, you know for the most part that when you meet up with them, you're going to instantly click and you're going to have things to talk about and bond about and be on the same page and the same level about stuff. And
It's crazy how we will support each other no matter how far the miles are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I make parts far away. You tune bikes or work on bikes, and I have several friends I think got a hold of you.
Yeah.
Trying to drive 8 hours just to tune a bike.
Yeah, and I even told him, I was like, I'm sure there's somebody that's closer
matter.
that can do it. He's like, nah, man, I want you to do it. And I was like, that means something to me.
Oh,
you
fuck
know what
yes.
I mean?
It's fucking rad.
Yeah.
Because like that group chat that I'm in with Justin and everything, you know, he got added to it. It's just like something
It's a
comes out
full-time
and
fucking
it's just
job to keep up with that chat.
I can't do the group chat thing. So
that-
people
oh
add me,
my
I delete
God.
myself
and
because
it's
I
like
can't
we
keep
support each other for good reason. You know, it's not just like support just because, you know, whatever. It's like, you
It's
know,
not blind support.
Yeah.
No,
it's like
and
we're
they'll tell you
doing
the
this,
truth, right?
Yeah.
We're doing this because they didn't ask us. You know, they're not like, hey, share my post, like my post, do this. We're like, no, dude, he's doing fucking sweet shit. I want you to see it, and I want you to see it, and I want to help you out.
They are
you know?
super loyal, dude.
That's like with like how Jace is doing this podcast. He's bringing everyday Joes on this podcast to show them like this guy's doing rad shit. That guy's making cool parts.
Dude, that's
this
why
guy's got a sweet shot.
I try to tell people that don't know about this podcast all the time, like, look, the people that are the most famous people on our podcast as listenership is not the big names.
Yeah.
It's the FXR Mikes and the Steve Chamberlains and him. You know what I mean? Like, I say him like everybody can see.
Mark from Texas Performance.
It's like when these guys come on, like people are invested in them and they want to know how they're doing and where they're at. And so like people get into that, you know, as opposed to you'll get a big name on here, you'll get a draw, but those high numbers that we get on certain podcasts is usually with someone that people have associated with and became invested in their ideas and their outlook on things. You know what I'm saying?
But what I will add to this, like this is a quote I've always said to myself, is if you put a person on a pedestal, they'll always sit there. You know, so if you look at this person, then they're super famous, you know, or Instagram famous. If you look at them like they're like that, they're always going to be there. Mm-hmm. But if you walk up to that person like they're a normal fucking person and you have a good time, you know, and you talk to them like a normal person, they might look at you and be like, wow, like this is the first time I didn't have like somebody trying to like, oh, can I get a picture?
Let me suck your dick while we're talking, you know?
So I just like to think to myself, like, dude, if I could probably meet like a famous movie star and I will walk up and I'll be like, hey, you know, how you doing? If I even say anything or whatever.
That's about the time I met Yellow Wolf.
Dude, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story that's really funny. My dad. You remember Warren G, like regulators?
Fuck
What
yeah.
do you mean? Do we remember? Prime, baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, Warren G.
Play that right now.
Warren G was doing a concert at the
I was
around
fingering
us.
a girl and I got caught.
Finger fucking.
He was doing a concert around us. He goes to this
My
local
buddy just
bar.
fingered her before I did.
He sits down next to my dad or whatever, and all these people were like just like kind of fanning him and everything. And my dad was just telling him about how shitty of a day he's having, like talking to him like a normal fucking dude. He yelled at these other people. He's like, Brian is just telling me about his day. Leave me alone.
So your dad knows Warren G.
He doesn't know him, but he
They're
just
best
met,
friends.
he met him one. He met
We're
him one
invited
day.
to Thanksgiving every year. It's not a big deal. You know?
Met him one day, and then like I guess he didn't have a pedestal to put him on because you know who the fuck he was, but he just talked to a person like a normal person.
That is
and that
kinda-
would go so much farther than trying to like put people on a pedestal, and then next thing you know,
Yeah, it is weird.
yeah.
Well, the other thing is, so you get put on a pedestal, is it like you have more to disappoint people with? That's the truth. Like,
Definitely true.
people have a higher expectation of what you should be because they've made an idea of who you are, and like when they meet you, and that's the weirdest part. And I say this in a weird way because I'm not any way kind of famous or anything, but when there's this weird thing that happens when a lot of people know who you are, right?
Yeah.
And they have an idea of who you should be or how you should react to them or how you should take their opinions and whatever. But realistically, I'm the same thing that you said you liked about me. I'm the down to earth dude on the podcast that's just like your homie. And like, I'm gonna be that same dude when you meet me. I'm not gonna be like some, like, oh yeah, thank you, sir. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Like, I'm like, all right, get a beer, dude. Let's go, faggot. Let's go. You know what I mean?
That's like another thing. Like sometimes with like I've been told that like I ride motorcycles aggressive, and it kind of sucks sometimes. Like every time somebody comes around, they're like, "Oh, I'm riding with him." Like I got to ride super aggressive. Well, guess what? Sometimes like I ride like a fucking Sunday cruise.
Sometimes I just want to be a fucking driving Miss Daisy.
Sometimes I want to cruise, and I just
He knows
don't.
we're friends, right? He was fucking gesturing back to Justin. He's like, give him back the mic. Bro, holler at me when we're done with this.
Oh, no,
Dude,
like,
we need to
I'm
go
not-
to the
all good.
show.
I'm not saying like best fucking rider out there, but it's like I don't feel like I need to go out there and prove myself every time I ride with somebody.
Yeah. Well,
there's sometimes like in some days I'm having a fucking off
The
day.
best
Well,
thing
that's
was,
the
hey,
thing,
Mark,
is that
that
when-
fucking camp out we were at, I think it was Giddy Up, and the dude was like, so you're the best rider around here? Something was up your ass.
Like I'm not saying like
That was-
I've had other people say like how I ride, but like I don't need to go out there and prove myself.
Well, and
every
something
fucking
like
time.
that, it's not like, you're still the same person, you act the same. But when it comes to riding at a very aggressive pace, if you're not in the mood, it's dangerous and deadly.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So to expect
like,
everybody to be in that mood all the time, every time they're on the bike is just unrealistic. You
Yeah.
know, it just is.
Even like a group highway ride.
Yeah.
You get fucking.
That's why I don't do rides anymore.
You get like one bad apple on a highway. I was talking with Mark on the way here. It's like, it's sweet when you just sync with somebody. It's like you head check because like you're closing in on a car that's, staying in the left-hand lane. You head check your buddy that's next to you. He's already in the next lane over.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck yeah. When you get
Feels
that
good.
person, like it's sweet, but not everybody has like 100% days.
You guys want to race to the...
Yeah, we got to go. We got to wrap this up.
All right.
Can't wait.
Well,
right.
new year, new us. Nice to meet you. Name's Steve Chamberlain. SChamberlain5150 on Instagram.
And you've been doing some YouTube shit, right? So you're gonna.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
All right.
I got
go to your
actually-
page, follow that shit for sure.
Yeah, same with my YouTube, SChamberlain5150 on that. Kind of doing a little editor this weekend. We'll see if it turns out. Kind of suck at editing, but
Start somewhere, man.
figure it the fuck out.
There you go.
Mark, otherwise known as, you got your T-Bar Jesus nickname a year ago, right? That was
Was
when
it?
Trent, Trent's downstairs. That's when
Yeah.
he did the sermon.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's
Yeah. And then Eric, who made for a great background story. Of this.
He was the one that did the burnouts. In case you guys didn't
Yeah, I
catch
feel
that.
like I'm a bad everything for this shit. We'll try again next time.
And Justin, who you'll hear on the next podcast. Thank you for coming out.
Yep.
All right. Let's go do things.
Peace.
There you have it. New year, new us too. Thank you guys for coming out. Had a good time. It was a wild night. After that, we went and saw Jesse do a little show with his band. He's doing pretty good with that. Proud of you. Thank you guys for checking this out. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsors, Simpson Motorcycle Helmets on Instagram, and put a .com on the end of that, and you know where to find those. Dream Rides John on Instagram and teamdreamrides.com. Big Bear Choppers, bigbearperformance.com. Big Bear Choppers on Instagram. 909-478-7788. Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram and painthuffer.com. Fast Life 12 for 10% off. ThunderMax EFI and shoptmax.com. Lexan Moto and LexanMotorcycle.com and Fast Life for 15% off when you check that out. Thank you guys for sticking with us. I think we will be having on, which you heard, I think, in this podcast a little bit, my machinist. My machinist is Justin. He came to our camp out. He has a performance bagger. He does some really badass machined work. If that's how you would say that. Give him a follow on Instagram and check it out. And we will have him on Thursday this week. Looking forward to it. We will also be we will be actually not moving, but me and my wife are going to be driving out to San Diego, LA, Phoenix, and home next week. So we will be gone, and we will be doing some podcasts with some people that I know you want to hear. So we'll be on a break for that week, and then we'll be back with Curtis Hoffman and a good friend of mine in the military that's done. He's ride. You heard about him in my personal podcast when I talked about my life, but his name's Brandon. He was a great friend. He is a great friend, and he helped me start my first shop, my first big shop, and he supported me for many, many years. And he's been a military guy his entire life, and he's done contracting for, I think, the last 13 years. And so he came on, and we just talked about that. So not a lot of motorcycle talk, but man, it's interesting shit. So I'm excited to kind of branch out a little bit and do more than just, what we've done. So looking forward to releasing all these podcasts this month. So there you go. Don't forget that Patreon, and don't forget we're giving shit away this month. So come on. See you guys on the next one.